Hello there, this is Kush Sharma from Click Trainers, where I teach you how to start an online coaching business by creating and selling online courses, doing webinars, and everything related to teaching your students via online means. And in this course, one of the most essential things that you would be needing for your online course business, not just an online coaching business, will be covered, which is how to advertise your products or your services using one of the most popular types of ads, which are obviously Facebook ads, one of my favorite mechanisms, as you're going to learn in this course. All right, now, this course, first of all, is a very long course. It's almost 4 hours in length. So you'll just have to sit back, go patiently, go through the timestamps that I've put in the description of this video. But also, before we start with the actual course, there's a couple of points that I wanted to clear up before you actually start with the main course. Okay. And some of those points are this. So this course, originally, Facebook advertising course that I made, was made in August 2019. It took me the entire month, August 2019, to create this course, what you're getting right now. So the reason I tell you this is because Facebook obviously changes very fast, and we are in January 2021 right now, so it's been almost a year and a half. But I've gone through this course again just to make sure that it's not outdated, and trust me, even right now in January 2021, after a period of 1.5 years, also this is absolutely applicable to how Facebook advertising works. So you don't have to worry about it. What can happen is that you might just find that, okay, this button that I'm showing here, I'm clicking somewhere, and you might not find that button there. The layout has changed, maybe the look of Facebook has changed, all those. But the basic principles that I've taught in this course haven't really changed till now. Okay, now there are a couple of things which probably I feel are important and have changed, and I mentioned them in the description of this video. Also, in these 1.5 years, I have got better at Facebook advertising because I've been doing it for pretty long, but even 1.5 years is a long time to get better at something, at any skill. So there are a couple of things that I have learned and got better at, which are probably not mentioned in this course. I've also put those down in the description of the video. So just like a couple of points. So go through the description of this video because that is going to be very, very important. But overall, you can absolutely go ahead with this course to learn the basic principles of Facebook advertising. So the second point that you have to understand is that Facebook advertising is just a mechanism that fits into your marketing funnel. Okay, so it's not like you just finish this course and then you simply have a product or service and then you run Facebook ads, you start driving the traffic towards that product or service, and then it's just going to sell. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You have to have a marketing funnel in place, a hierarchy of steps in place. And in order to just make you understand that, what I've done is, because I don't really go deep into the marketing strategy and the funnel part in this course, we're mainly concentrating on Facebook advertising. But I also feel if you have to be successful with Facebook ads, you should understand the strategies. What I've done is, in the recent months, I had created a free course where I teach my online coaching students how to sell their products and services, like their online courses. Okay, and in that, I teach one of the very important videos in that course is about how to develop a marketing funnel, how a marketing funnel or how a marketing strategy exactly should work. Like, even though that's for the online coaching students and the products and services are online courses there, you can apply that course, the learnings from that course, to any product or service that you're selling online. So what I would suggest is that you sign up for that free course. It's completely free. I've given the link of that free course in the description of this video. So make sure that you do sign up and go through that if you really want to understand how the overall pattern or the overall strategy for marketing and sales will work for you. Because remember, Facebook advertising is just something that is a part, it's a mechanism which is a part of the bigger vehicle. Okay, and the third point is that this course is probably not for people who are way already advanced into Facebook ads. I would say this is good for people who are absolutely starting out from scratch, no doubt about that. If you're a complete beginner, also for people who have tried using Facebook ads, but probably didn't work for you or you were not satisfied. So this course will probably clear out a lot of things for you. But if you're really already advanced, I would probably suggest not to go through this course, because you won't find something absolutely groundbreaking in this course. This is mainly for basic to intermediate people. All right. Having said that, these were the points I wanted to make. So I wish you all the luck in this course. Also, just one more point is that you might often hear me throughout this course use the term Creative Pad Media. That's my other website. And originally this course was made there. So don't get confused. That's the reason I'm saying Creative Pad Media, but that will not hamper your learning in any way. Just like my other courses, if you find it beneficial and you feel that it impacts your life in a positive way, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. But for right now, let's get started. I wish you all the luck for whatever reason you are doing this course for. Hello there, welcome to this course. This is Kush Sharma from Creative Pad Media, and I'm so excited that I've got a chance to teach you this very, very important skill of Facebook advertising. Now, if you've already done my other courses like photography for beginners, studio photography for beginners, videography for beginners, editing courses like the ones on Lightroom and Photoshop, then you would already know that this time with this course, I'm taking a slightly different route, because usually I make those creative skill courses. But what I realized is that a lot of people who learn these skills, any sort of a creative skill, sometimes one mistake they can make is that they can ignore the business or the marketing aspect of running their business. So they can just solely put their focus on the skill that they're learning, but often ignore this very important side, which will actually help you grow your business, because that is also very important. And when I saw this with different people, I was asked a lot of times, Kush, how do you market your business? Well, that's the time I thought, why not create the course on something on which my business is actually built, which is Facebook advertising. Now, Facebook advertising is not to be taken lightly. It is a very important skill, and I won't be exaggerating if I say that this is a life-changing skill, and that learning this skill throughout this course can actually change your life. Because a lot of years back when I learned Facebook advertising, it exactly did that to my life. That time I was quitting jobs after I just completed my MBA, and I was just not able to hold a single job. So I kept on quitting different types of jobs. I was not satisfied, and deep down I knew that I wanted to start my own company, but I did not have too much money. So whatever money I had from my jobs, which I was continuously doing and quitting, that little amount of money was enough for me to really start my business. But that's thanks to only one thing, which is Facebook advertising. In fact, again, I won't be exaggerating if I say that if it wasn't for Facebook advertising, I probably wouldn't be running Creative Pad Media. That's how much I'm attached to the world of Facebook marketing and advertising, because it has really changed my life, and it can change your life too. It can help you start your dream business. It can help you even if you want to go into freelancing. It can help you. And let's say if you're already a working professional and you're in the digital marketing domain, it can definitely help you in your career also. So there's a lot of benefits of doing this course, but the primary benefit is that if you have a dream business in mind, this course, anything, whether you're a photographer, artist, you run a cafe, you run a gym, whatever you do, you can do it through Facebook advertising. And this is what we're going to learn in this course, where we'll actually be creating a dummy business, like a fake business, from scratch, so that you understand how everything works in Facebook advertising. So I'm very excited to teach you this. This course, like always, like my other courses, has been divided into sections. The introduction section will talk about just all the warm-up that we need to do, because I know if you're my past customer, and if my past student who has done my other creative courses, this type of a course slightly might be different for you. Therefore, I have that in mind. Therefore, in the first section, we'll just be talking about what exactly is Facebook advertising. How do Facebook ads work? So it's just going to be a nice introduction section which will warm you up, and that is the time. From the sections after that is the time when we'll be actually going and creating our Facebook pages. We'll be creating our advertising account. We'll be creating basic Facebook ads so that you understand how to do all this. And that is the time. Then later on, we'll be going into advanced and more complex stuff, like creating advanced ads, learning about analytics, how to analyze your ads and see which one of the ads are doing well. And all this will be explained with the help of examples. Sometimes I'll be giving you the examples of my own ads also from Creative Pad Media, and sometimes we'll be just continuing with our fake or our dummy business. So I am definitely very excited. You know the type of guy I am. I like to get straight into action. So from the next video onwards, we're going to start section number 1, which is the introduction warm-up section. I'll see you there. Bye for now. All right, welcome to the first warm-up section. In this section, first of all, we'll be understanding what Facebook advertising is. So if you're new to the world of marketing and Facebook advertising, this will just make it clear to you. We won't really be starting with the ad creation process, that is creating our Facebook ads, in this section, because this section is just dedicated to you understanding and also getting your infrastructure on point, which just basically means the infrastructure would include you creating a Facebook page, which is a requirement in order to do Facebook ads. Then you would have to create your Facebook advertising account, and we'll also be seeing the different types of ads. And throughout this section, I'll also be showing you a lot of bonus resources and tools in order to just create good looking designs for your new Facebook page that you create. So whether you already have a business in mind, or whether you're just you're completely starting from scratch, it's okay. Either you can create your own business, just like I'll be creating a fake or a dummy business in this section. Or if you don't have a business plan or a business in mind, then of course you can just exactly do what I'm doing. Either way, you'll definitely, once this section understands, you'll definitely understand all the basics about how Facebook advertising works. So let's not waste any more time. Let's head into this section. I'm going to see you there. Hello there, welcome to the first video in this course, and I know that right now we haven't really done anything, but that is exactly why I want to make this warm-up video, because what I want to show you through this video is what is it that exactly we are trying to learn in this course. And I just want to, at least give you like a preview of what are we about, this journey that we are about to go into. So before we really start with the technical steps that will follow this video will just kind of help you understand what is our mission in this course. So here I'm logged into my Facebook account, and if I just start to go to, if I just start scrolling, so when you log into your Facebook account, you see something like this, and this is the part which is the feed, and this is where you mostly see three things. The first thing is you're going to see mostly any updates or any status updates or photos or anything uploaded by your friends. So that's one thing that you see here. The second thing that you see here is if you liked any page. So you like different types of pages, let's say some celebrity page, some business page, anything. And whatever that page will post also comes here, right? So just like your friends post, the post by the pages also come here. And the third thing usually you see here are what you're seeing right now here. So I'm a part of a lot of photography groups, like this one, for example. So anytime if some member in a group posts something, that is the third thing that you mostly see here. So these are the three primary things that you normally see when you're scrolling through your Facebook feed. Whether you're doing that from your phone or your laptop doesn't really matter. But there is a fourth thing that you also see, and that is what we are interested in. So what I'm going to do right now is I'll start scrolling down, and we will definitely see that thing very soon. So let's just keep going down, and boom. In fact, we've just seen that right now, so I didn't really have to scroll too much. So this is an ad, and this is what we're interested in. And how you can come to know is when you see this word called sponsored written on it. Now, Booking.com is a very, very famous website which is used to book hotels or your hostels or anything when you're traveling abroad or anywhere. So for example, a few days back, I was planning my trip to New Zealand, and I was just checking out some of the hostels in Auckland, and you can see that this this is called retargeting. So because I was on their website, now it's showing me a similar ad. We're going to be talking about retargeting and all later, but right now all I want you to know is that this is an ad because this is sponsored. So I may not have even liked this page by Booking.com. You can see actually if I just hover on it, I have not really liked this page, but still I'm seeing their advertisement. And this is the power of Facebook ads, that these are really push posts that even if someone's not liked your page, you can throw it on their home feed, and then they're forced to see it and interact with it. Now, I won't say they're forced to interact with it because I can just ignore it, but right now I do want to interact with it. So right now we have this particular ad, and usually this is going to have a button which is called call to action, which is going to make you do something, or you can sometimes click on the image. So we're going to be scrolling down and seeing different types of ads, but right now let's just click on this button which says book now. And what is going to happen is it's going to take me outside of Facebook. It's going to take me to the Booking.com website where this particular hostel or this hotel is there, and then I can go ahead and book. So let's say I was trying to book it earlier, like I told you, and I forgot about it. This ad just made me remind about the booking that I had to do. I do the booking, and Booking.com earns whatever they want, from whatever I pay to them, and this is all done because of this ad that just reminded me something that I had forgotten. So these are called retargeting ads. Again, we'll be talking about this later, but let's keep scrolling down. Again, this is mainly by the groups. I'm a part of a lot of photography groups, a lot of digital marketing groups like these. HostGator is my hosting company. So again, I'm into fitness and also sometimes I get these ads a lot. So again, you can see that this is run by this guy called Adam Frater, I think that's how you pronounce it. So he's some sort of an athlete or a fitness guru, and you can see he's running this video ad this time. So if I just start playing this ad, you just see what it's about. So he's selling some kind of a course and he's offering some discount on it. So basically we can run this video, and at the end of it, he's probably going to talk about it, but I can also click on learn more and directly go to his website, which is something like bodyalchemy.me, and here I'm sure he is selling this particular course which he has. So you can see it's a $64 course that he is selling. Let's keep going down. Let's look at some more ads, because you'll always find ads. So these days, definitely. So Ty Lopez is a very famous digital marketer, so I follow him. So that's why I keep seeing his ad. And it's not necessary that you have to be following someone. Like I said, you may not have liked something, but we're going to be talking about something called as targeting later on. So when you create your ad, you can target different types of audiences, and if you fall within that category, Facebook is going to show you this ad. So we'll talk about that later. But right now, again, this is a video ad, and he's probably selling. He's always selling something. So if I click on this, again, the same thing will happen. I'll go to his website and this will open up. So these days, video ads have become very, very popular. I use them myself a lot, and they work really, really well. But it all started off earlier. I've been doing Facebook advertising for almost 7 years now, speaking in 2019. And initially, it was only image ads like this. So you can see there's a photography company called Fotzi, or Fotzi, I don't know how to pronounce this, but you can see that they are running this ad which says natural light is the most important free powerful tool and all, and I'm sure they're selling some kind of a course which is on 80% off. And this time, okay, I'm sorry, this is not an image ad. I forgot to see this a particular video sign, but I thought this was an image. So again, this is going to be kind of a video ad with a single line, and they're going to probably talk about whatever they're talking about here about natural light, and then they're going to sell this course. So if we just click on learn more, it's going to directly take us to this course. If you buy my courses, I'd suggest that you do not buy their course. I'm just joking. If you like it, of course, do check them out. They seem to be pretty good. I'm trying to look for an image ad. No, but these days just video ads are all over the place. You can see we just hardly scroll down. I think this is the 6th or the 5th ad, video ad that we are seeing. But if it was an image ad, because we will be seeing image ads also, then what's going to happen is instead of the video, there's just going to be an image which talks about something, and you click on the image, it does the same thing. It's similar to clicking on this button. It's going to just redirect you to whatever place that the advertiser wants you to go to, and then you can make the purchase or interact with whatever the advertiser wants you to do. So they're image ads, they're video ads, and of course in this course we're going to be looking at all these different types of ads, and I'll be also telling you which are the important ones, which are the ones to look out for, which are the ones that you should not be worried about. So all this we'll be talking later. Right now I just wanted to show you this click model of how these ads work, that this ad comes, you click on something, it takes you to wherever the advertiser wants you to take. Now the important thing is that when you do make this click, this advertiser, so we've been clicking on all these ads and we opened all this is not free, of course. So this is where Facebook advertising comes into play, which is how Facebook earns their money. So every time an audience like me this time clicks on an ad, Facebook of course charges the advertiser some amount of money. Now it's not always done by clicks. There can be other ways, by views also. The advertiser can be charged. Again, we'll be talking about all that later, but the most basic model is that when someone clicks, this advertiser will be paying a small amount to Facebook, or actually can be a big amount if you're not doing it correctly. And of course, we're going to be talking about that later also, how to make your ads really cheap. That means how to make your cost per click really, really cheap, because that is very important if you want to earn a good profit out of doing this. But basically, anytime someone clicks, the advertiser pays Facebook, and Facebook earns their money, and hopefully the advertiser is hoping that when someone clicks and goes to, let's say, something like this, I end up buying this $64 course, and that little amount of money that this guy had to pay Facebook is just a small cost for him, and he's made a profit because I just bought a $64 course. So let's say if he paid $1 for that click, then he just made a profit of $63 because I bought his course. So not bad, right? But of course, it always is not that easy. There are ways that this has to be done correctly. which is the technical stuff in which we have to go back into the dashboard, and we'll be looking at all that. But right now, I just wanted to show you what exactly is Facebook advertising and what in a general way will we be looking at in this course. So I hope that you like this video, and from the next video, it's all going to be practical and technical stuff. So I'm going to be seeing you there. Bye for now. Hello there, welcome back to another video, and in this video is going to be a short video. I'm just going to be telling you what all are the things that you require when you are doing Facebook advertising. So it's pretty simple. What you need is a Facebook page. That's the first important thing that you need. So you cannot do Facebook advertising, the kind of ads that we were seeing in the previous video. You cannot do that from your personal profile. So everyone has a personal profile on Facebook, but in order to advertise on Facebook, you need to have a Facebook page. So a Facebook page looks like this. For example, my company Creative Pad Media has a page of its own. And this is the page that I use for making ads, because what happens is that when we go later on in this course, when we actually go into our ads dashboard where all the creation of the ads and all that process takes place, ultimately you have to select which page is going to show when you are showing those ads. Because remember, when we saw those ads, on top of the ads, the page name was there, and you could click on the page also. So you need a page. You cannot do it from your personal account. So of course we will be seeing how to create a Facebook page also using our dummy business. So everything in this course is practical. We'll actually be creating a fake business, like a separate thing, so that you can see how the process works right from A to Z. And we'll be creating a page. And of course, the second thing that you will need is money. So since it's an advertising course, we're not looking at the free ways of doing marketing. We're looking at the paid ways, which are the ways that work the best on Facebook. And so therefore, you will need to have a credit card or something that you can tie up with your account when you create your advertising account, which is something that we'll be seeing from the next video onwards. But the most important thing, of course, is that you will need to start a page for your business. So of course, we're going to get into all this. Just thought I'll mention this, and then I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hello there, welcome back to another video. Now, in the last video, you learned about what are the things that you need in order to advertise on Facebook. So we saw that you need the Facebook page and you need the advertising account, which is where your money will go in and you'll be creating the ads. So right now it's time to create an advertising account. Now I cannot use my own personal profile. You'll have to log into your own personal profile because I already have my own advertising account, but I want to show you from scratch how to do it. And Facebook keeps on changing this, but usually for the last 7 years, the creation process is pretty much similar, though they keep changing the labels here. Earlier it used to be like create an ad or something like that here, but right now you can see we have this option saying advertising on Facebook. So this is what you'll have to click, because I'm assuming you've never done Facebook advertising before. So let's say you're starting right from scratch, you don't have an advertising account, and of course you don't have a page also, which is the next option. So when I click on this, you'll basically get two options, which are either create a page or create an ad. So in case you've already created a page before, then of course you'll be going and clicking on this create an ad option. But in this case, since this is a beginner's course, I'm assuming that you don't even have a Facebook page, and what we'll be doing is that the dummy business that we have, so we have a fake business that we'll be creating for this course, so that your learning becomes very, very practical. And I'm going to be creating the page for this fake business or this dummy business right from scratch by clicking on this option. Even if I was to select this option right now without having a page, which is create an ad, it'll directly take you to creating your ad account. But ultimately you won't be able to run ads, because when you start creating the ads, it'll tell you, it'll give you like an error message. Facebook will give you an error message which will be like that you don't have a Facebook page. So first create a Facebook page before you can start advertising. Of course, that just makes sense. So what we'll do first is we'll create a page and then we'll create an advertising account. So I'm going to click on this option, and this is the option that actually comes by default most of the times. Right, so you get two options here. Again, this all keeps changing. Most of the people here who are following this course, you'll be selecting this option, business or brand. But let's say if you are forming some sort of a community, or if you're doing it for a celebrity or a public figure like those pages, then you can select this option. But most of the people will be selecting this, so I'm going to click on this, and this is where the process of creating your page will start. And before I start with this process, what I'll do is in the next video, I'll just be talking about what is the dummy business that we will be creating in this course. Just give you kind of brief overview of that business. Feel free to follow your own business. Like I said, if you have something in mind, doesn't really matter, or you can exactly copy what I'm doing. It really does not matter, but it'll just make more sense and you'll be more passionate if you follow these steps when we start creating this page. Do it with your own business in mind. Even if you don't have an exact business plan in mind, just think of something, and that should be okay, like a dummy business. So I'll see you in the next video where we'll get into the fun part of creating the page. So I'm going to see you there. Bye for now. All right, welcome back. So let's start the process of creating a page, and the dummy business that I'm going to be using is a gym. So that's going to be our fake business. It will be called Fitness Fire Passion. I know that's a terrible name for a gym, but I just put in a lot of words there because I don't want to get into any copyright issues if I try to choose a very clever name. And it's going to be a gym, like a physical gym in Pune, India. This is the city where I am in. This is a B2C business, which is business to consumer. And there's another type of business which is called business to business. So what this means is a B2C business is usually your normal business which sells to a consumer, like a customer. And B2B businesses are where you're selling to another business. And Facebook advertising works great for B2C businesses. They can work for B2B businesses. I've seen companies doing that also on Facebook, but usually more professional platforms like LinkedIn might work better for B2B. For B2C businesses can be like your cafes, your gyms. Let's say you're a photographer, you're an artist, whatever you are, whichever business you have. If you're catering to individual customers, retail customers, then you can definitely use Facebook advertising. So I would say for most of the businesses, you can definitely use Facebook advertising. And I'm guessing most of the people doing this course really aren't into this B2B line. All right, so let's get started. So the name of my page is gonna be Fitness Fire Passion, and this is gonna be in the category of gym. So let's see what comes up in gym, physical fitness center. Yeah, so you can see a lot of categories here. I'm gonna select this, and it doesn't really matter. You can just this initial information that you have to fill, of course, just get your name right, but all these things can be changed later on. Our focus in this course is not on things like branding and what the business is exactly about. Our main job in this course is to learn how to sell using advertising, and that's what our focus will remain. And all this can be changed. So I'm just gonna type something very random. I've a lot of times, even for my own business, I've ended up changing the pages, and it can be done. It's not a problem. And oops. Okay, I think I'll just remove this. Oops. I think it just automatically filled in the business. What was the name of my business? Fitness Fire Passion. Right. Fine. So I'm just going to click on continue here. And I'm doing this after a long time because the last time I created my own page was when I actually created my own business page. So Facebook just keeps on changing how this all is done. So it might be a bit slow, so do forgive me. Next step, it is asking us to upload a profile picture. You can actually skip it, but I already have made a profile picture. I'm going to be talking about designs just in a moment from now. So I'm just going to select this very terrible looking logo that I just made in like 2 seconds in Photoshop. It just says FFP, Fitness Fire Passion. Then the next thing is going to ask me is to upload a cover photo. Again, you can actually skip all this, but I do want to show you because I know when people are starting and you have your page, you really want it to look nice. First of all, it's not really needed to start advertising. This is just for looking good and all, your branding purpose, but I do want to give you some options. So one is that you can, of course, if you have your own designer, you can get your cover picture designed from them. One easy option is that you can use this very, very resourceful website called canva.com. And what this website does is it gives you almost free designs. So what you can do is, suppose if I go to canva.com and then I go to the search, I can just type Facebook cover, and it's automatically going to suggest me a lot of templates which I can use as Facebook covers, and I can change the text and all in this. So let's say we like this, and then all I have to do is I have certain images here. I just have to replace these images with images that I have for my gym. So I can go to this upload section here. I've got some images, some free images that I found on Google. These 3 and I'm just gonna put all three, and then you can, once these are uploaded, you can just kind of drag them on here like this. Maybe this is fitting well here. I think this is fine. I know it doesn't really fit, but it's okay. Let's put this image here, and you can immediately see that we've kind of got a decent looking cover picture already, and this is completely free. So just make sure when you're going through the templates, when I selected on templates, it just says free next to it. Some templates on Canva, like the very good ones, can be $1-2. You can always buy those also if you really like something. I'm going to call it Fitness. Oh, I keep forgetting the name. Is it Passion Fire? Is it Fitness Fire? Passion. Okay. Just going to leave this where, let's say, your tagline can come. So all these things can be done later on. Once I'm done, I can just click on download here. I can just let it be. So that's it. I'm done with my cover, and once this downloads, it's completely free, and I can just go over here to my Facebook where I was doing this. I can go to my downloads, here. So in downloads, you can see that this is the cover picture that we had made. I can just upload this here. So you can see that within no time, I already had made this profile picture, which was my logo. This is usually where your logo will come. And this is, we have already, in just 2 seconds, we could make this nice looking cover. You can see it's not really looking too bad also. But it's like I said, it's not 100% compulsory. But let's say one way was doing from canva.com. You'll definitely enjoy this. Another thing is a website that I use very often when I really want to get professional. So this is called themeforest.net. And here is actually a website. You can literally get anything, stock images, videos for your marketing. Later on, we'll also be seeing that you can even get Facebook ad designs from here. But right now, if I go to graphics here, I can just type Facebook cover, and you can see we can immediately get. Now, these are paid, of course, but they are very cheap. You can see for $3, I can get all these absolutely professional looking designs, which can be easily edited in Photoshop. Just very basic knowledge. And you can illustrate or Photoshop, but it even shows you which templates are there for, in which software can these be edited. But you can see that these look really, really professional. So when you have to go to the next level, you can come here, and just for $3-4, you can get it, and then just send it to a designer to just change it if you don't know how to use Photoshop or something. So I can even type, let's say, Facebook cover gym. I'm sure that they must be having something specifically for fitness. You can see here 10 Facebook covers for gym and fitness, and only for $7. So if I click on this, you can kind of get a preview of how these covers look. So you can click on screenshots, and you can see these are really good looking. And so if you have just very basic knowledge of Photoshop, so you can see it will be mentioned here which is the software that they can be edited on. So this is Photoshop PSD. So this is what I do when I really want to become very professional in my designs. I usually go here, buy this, and then just edit them, change the pictures, and put it up. Another thing, because if you don't have a designer, let's say sometimes you might require a designer. Let's say if you want to start a Facebook, if you want to create your logo, if you want to create a Facebook covers, later on your Facebook ads designs, which are actually the most important. This is a great website, because let's say if you don't know a freelancer, or you don't have some graphic designer that you know of, you can come to fiverr.com, and here it's very easy. You get a ton of freelancers for any job that you want to do. So let's say if I type Facebook cover. So it'll show you all the freelancers on this website who design Facebook covers or logos. You can type logos here, you can type Facebook ads here, any design that you want. Max to max for, I know the site says Fiverr, it used to be $5, but now most of these people charge at least $10. So, but for $10, you'll get very amazing designs done. So if you don't know which freelancer to approach, then this is the website to go to. I've got my book covers designed from here. I get a lot of stuff done from here. You can even use this later on for, let's say, creating your website. So people even do that. Anything, any help that you need when it comes to your business, you can find a freelancer who does that for very cheap, like from $10 to $40, $50. You can get your stuff done. right? So I just thought that I'll show you this. If you are anytime confused, let's say if you're already good with Photoshop, you want to design something of your own, make sure that you do type this Facebook page dimensions and the year that you're in, for example 2019 right now, because Facebook sometimes keeps on changing the dimensions. This can be changed. You must have seen that on your own personal profile in your personal account, that earlier on the cover page used to be different. So in case it changes, just come here, check what the dimensions are at that moment, and there are a lot of websites which just exactly tell you what are the current dimensions. This is if you're designing stuff on your own. For example, I created this logo right now in Photoshop here. So I knew what dimensions the profile picture was by going through websites like these, which show you everything. This is at 820, 360. So I come to know. But anyway, right now I just wanted to just show you these extra tools. Our focus is not on this. From the next video onwards, I really won't be talking about anything which is not related to Facebook advertising. But this page is now ready to go, and from the next video onwards, we are moving one step closer towards what we really want to learn, and that is how to advertise in order to sell our products and services. I hope you like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. All right, welcome back to the course. So we are done with just the basics of creating our page. Just wanted to quickly show you that if you want to change any of the details about your page later on, of course, then you can just go to this menu here on the left, and in the About section, you can change whatever that you want. Like, let's suppose you didn't choose the right category or the name you wanted to change later. You can edit your business details. You can put a website later on, and all these things can be done very, very easily. But the thing that I want to focus on is that we have just created this page right now. And of course, this does not have any likes at the moment because we've just created it. So I'm just going to give it the first like. You can see I'm logged into my personal account. I'm just going to click on like. So yep, that is our first like. And later on you can invite your friends to like this page. So for example, sometimes the invite window comes here where you'll see all the list of your friends, and you can just click on invite if you're not seeing that. So for example, I can just go here right now. It says your page isn't reaching people. So invite people to like your page. So I can click on this, and then it'll show a list of all my friends that I can just click, and then select, and then just click on send invite. So they'll get a notification saying that I have asked them to like this particular page. Right now, the thing that I want to talk to you about is very, very important, which is that now that you have your page, anyone that has liked your page, and then you make a post, just like you make a status, right? So let's say I just make any post, like a sample post. I can add a photo or a video. I can do so many things here. But let's say the most common type of posts are something with an image, and then you'll be advertising something that you're selling. For example, in this case, let's say I have an offer going on for the new memberships in my gym. So I can put out a nice design and write some stuff, and then I'll just be clicking on share now. And then this goes out here, and anyone who's liked your page, they'll be seeing that in their own home feed, the feed that we saw initially when we were looking at what basically ads are. So when you put out statuses, when your friends put out photos, that's exactly how it works. It's just that this time it's coming from a page, and instead of friends, Facebook pages have likes. So it's pretty similar to your personal account. But here's the important thing that I want to talk to you about. All this is really not that very, very important. Of course, you will have to keep on putting on posts, regularly. Let's say you can decide your own frequency because it's good for your branding. But then this is not really good for making sales, or because sales is ultimately what runs your business. Because if you're not making money, if you're not selling your products and services, then you're not really going to do much. And the reason why this strategy does not really work is because what most people do is they'll make a Facebook page, they'll invite their friends, to like their pages. And let's say you have 500 likes after some time. Maybe you had a lot of friends, you had a strong network, and then you're hoping that, okay, why should I go into advertising? I'll just keep on making some posts about my products and services, and the people who've liked are already seeing it, so I'm just going to get some sales for free. So this type of an approach is called as organic marketing. Right? So organic marketing is basically stands for anything that is done for free. So, you writing a post on your Facebook page that you've just created, your likes, seeing it, and that is just free marketing for you. And another type of marketing, the opposite, is called inorganic. Inorganic means the paid advertising that we will be focusing on in this course. So why have I created this course around inorganic marketing? That is, you have to pay, right? That doesn't seem like a good thing, because you might ask me, Kush, I can do it for free. I can just keep on posting, and then I have no costs. And what if I get a sale? Then that's just completely free for me. And of course, I'm asking you to pay money to Facebook in order to advertise, right? So the reason for this is, if I show you my own main page. So I run this business called Creative Pad Media, which is we basically have courses and workshops for photography, videography, editing, and all these creative pursuits. So let me just go down here, and you can see I have got around 34,496 likes on this page. That is a good amount. And this was a post that I made today. So this is one of our studio photography courses that I was kind of just marketing through this particular post, where I'm just teaching them what all is involved in this course. So I'm just kind of giving them a photo snippet, right? But the important thing is, if I just come down here, when you own a page and you post something on your Facebook page, Facebook will tell you how many people has this post reached to. So you can see that it's currently telling me that, I published this in the morning today. Right now it's almost 11 in the night, 12 o'clock in the night. And in 12 hours, this has reached 1063 people. So this is, and it has got 23 engagements. Engagements means if someone has liked it, if someone has commented on it, if someone has clicked on it, if someone has clicked on this link and gone to my studio photography course where all the details are given, all this comes here. Similarly with other posts, so I took out this funny kind of a post here, and you can see that this has reached 693 people. But just see, 1063, 693. Let's see some more posts that I've made, and these are completely free for me, right? Like a did you know fact, this reached around 1784. But all these figures, if you compare it with the likes that I have on my page, which is 34,496, almost 35,000, this is really nothing, right? This is not, when I take out a post, this is not reaching all the 35,000 people. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that beginners make, because we assume that just because so many people have liked our page, if I put out something, Facebook is going to show to all the people that have liked the page. No, that's not true. So Facebook only shows it to people who interact often with what you put out. So, let's say if I liked Creative Pad Media 1 week back, I'm added to this here, so I become one of the likes. But let's say I don't interact that much with Creative Pad Media's content, whatever they put out on their Facebook page. I don't like it, I sometimes ignore it. Then Facebook will slowly stop showing me Creative Pad Media's post. Therefore, even though I have liked this page, I still won't be a part of this reach. So it's as good as me never liking the page, because Facebook is just not showing me, because I've kind of communicated from my past actions that I'm not interested in Creative Pad Media, even though I had initially liked their page. And the result of this is pretty bad for the marketer or the advertiser or the owner of the page, because now you're only reaching like a fraction of the people that have liked the page. And of course, one way out of this is to create very meaningful content, create very good content. But trust me, I have tried everything. It's just that that's how Facebook's algorithm works these days. There is so much of competition, because earlier on, like for example, when I started on Facebook marketing 7 years back in 2012, 2013, this reach used to be way more than what it is now, because there weren't as many Facebook pages which were competing. And now what happens is, because people have become aware of Facebook, there are a lot of pages now. So anytime your like does not, the person that has liked your page has also liked a lot of other pages. So Facebook says, okay, you're not interacting with Creative Pad Media's page, let's stop showing you, because we can only fit in so many things here, right? We cannot fit too many things in this feed. So at one point, you can only see one post. So Facebook says, okay, I'm not going to show Creative Pad Media's post because you have not been interacting with it. So I'm going to show you some other post from some other page. And that's how it works. So basically, the point I'm trying to make is, you cannot rely on this free marketing, because this is simply, even if you have a page which has lakhs of likes, like huge amount of likes, it can happen that you only reach like 2 to 3% of those, depending on how many of them are interacting with their post. And this is where organic marketing works, but doesn't work that well because simply you're not able to reach too many people. And with inorganic, as you're about to find out, which is the paid advertising, when we'll be seeing, sky is the limit. I can reach to all the people in my page. We'll be seeing that through something called as boosting the post. So we can actually boost our post. You can see this button here. So let's say, for example, in my case, if I go back to Creative Pad Media, let's say that this was a very important post for me, the one that we were seeing about my studio photography snippet. But I know that organically, that is without paying Facebook, this has only reached 1063 people, and maybe by the next 24 hours it'll reach 200-300 people more, but it's still not enough. I really want this to reach to at least 10,000 people. Then my only option is to boost this post. That means click on this button, and then I'll be showing you this later because this is a kind of an ad. And like the name suggests, this is just going to boost your post. You're going to pay money to Facebook, and what will happen is your reach will be artificially increased. That means through your money, you're reaching more people. So even if there was a person who had stopped interacting with Creative Pad Media, just because you've paid Facebook, Facebook will say, okay, you're paying me, I'll show your post even to that person, and that will increase the reach that you have here, right? So inorganic marketing is these days especially is where this game is being played, not here. This is good. Yeah, of course, you have to keep updating your page, and of course, this also reaches to at least 1,000 people is also not less, like we saw 698 people, 2,000 people. This is fine. You'll have to keep doing that anyway so that your page seems updated, right? But you cannot rely on this to run a business. That's what I'm trying to say. So you cannot rely on just posting on your Facebook page. You have to ultimately take the leap and go into where this dangerous game of playing this, playing by the Facebook ads is being played at. So that was what I wanted to show you through this particular example, because what you have to understand is that business is about return on investment. So I can say, okay, this is free, but let's say if I'm promoting a product through my post, this only reaches 1,000 people, and let's say one person ends up buying it. And let's say my course was for 2,000 rupees, right? So yes, I have made this 2,000 rupees, and 2,000 minus 0, that means there was no cost involved, was rupees 2,000. So I made a profit of 2,000 rupees. That's good. But let's say this time I'm paying Facebook, but I'm able to reach 10,000 people. And let's say 10 people buy, then I earn rupees 20,000. Right? And let's say I do end up paying Facebook something for this, which was, let's say we ran an ad campaign, and we'll be seeing how to create an ad campaign. But let's say the overall ad cost for me was rupees, let's say 4,000. Well, I just made a profit of 16,000. So even though I'm paying Facebook, but my profit is also more. So that's what you have to focus on. So you have to focus on ROI, which is return on investment. This is how you grow a business. So it's not simply about saving your costs or not having any costs. It's also about taking the risk, putting in the money where it's required. That's your investment, and then it's your job to get the return on it and scale your business. Right? So you have to take that risk, and this is where Facebook ads, they work fantastically well, because as we'll be seeing soon when we start creating our ads, that you can really laser target your ads and reach out to lakhs and millions of people and get your product or service out in front of them instead of just relying on something that was for free, right? So that was what I wanted to communicate to you, that why organic doesn't really work these days, and why you have to go into inorganic or paid marketing, and you have to take the risk if you're really serious about growing your business. So I hope that you like this video. We'll continue from the next video onwards. I'm going to see you there. Bye for now. Hello there, welcome back. In the last video, we learned about why inorganic or paid advertising or marketing is way better than doing free organic marketing. So now that we already have a Facebook page for our business, it's time to do the next thing, which is to create our Facebook advertising account, which is pretty easy. You again go to the same drop down menu. You're going to go to advertising on Facebook. Of course, I'm doing this from a different account because I already have an advertising account. So, but if you were to start from scratch, then you would see something like this. We saw this before when we created the page, but this time make sure instead of creating a page, you select create an ad here. And I'm just going to click on this. And So what you'll see is it changes the look. So this is referred to as the ads manager or the ads dashboard, and you're going to be accessing this all the time. And the first thing it's going to show you is all these different types of ads, and this is where we'll be spending a lot of time, because we'll be looking at what these different types of ads are, which are the important ones, which are the ones that you really have to care about, and then we'll be going into them and actually creating our ad. One of those ads that we saw in the initial videos, we'll be seeing exactly how to create them so that people can see our ads on their home feed. Now you'll have to later on do a couple of things. So when you actually start creating the ad, at one point it is going to ask you, for example, if I just click here, I can just show you this right now. If I go under settings and billing, because this is one of the important things, you will have to input before you can run your ads. You will have to, at some point, Facebook will ask you to put your payment details somewhere here. So you can go to payment settings here, and this is where you'll have to, add a payment method by clicking here. So again, it can ask you this anytime, probably when we start to create the ads, or maybe when you're just about to release your ad, it might ask you. I exactly don't know, because I made my own original account a long time back. I cannot really do advertising using this account. This is just some other account, personal account. And of course, I cannot show you this through my own advertising account because I already have the payment information done. So I'm not exactly sure when Facebook will take you to this page. But one thing is for sure, before your ad, before we create, after we create the ad and before it goes out to the public, is definitely during this whole process, at one point it's going to ask you. So you're going to come here. It might ask you for GST information like this. If you don't have a GST number, that's fine. I've just selected my state here. You can just click on continue. And this is where you can add your credit card, your debit card. Make sure that, there's not a problem, because if you are using a card which is not somehow valid for Facebook, it's just going to tell you that's not valid, but it just works for most credit cards and debit cards. You have the option of paying by Paytm also, net banking also. So these days you have these options also. Otherwise, you can also keep your card here. So that's all there is to, just absolutely starting off with your ads account. But ultimately, you'll be coming back to this window, which can be accessed by going on to this ads manager here. What is this? To help maintain the... So sometimes Facebook just keeps on changing these things. I just have no choice. I'll have to, whatever it is, I'll have to accept. So because if I don't accept, they probably won't allow me. But sometimes I think they have some non-discrimination policy these days that you just have to accept. So trust me, when you're going into Facebook marketing, it changes almost every month. They do change something or the other every month. Right. So this is where you'll be creating. So you'll see something like this. Once you go here to this, most of the things will be accessed from this little menu here. One of the most important things will be your ads manager. This is where you'll be coming often. That's where you'll see all your ads when you start creating them. Right now, you're not seeing anything under here. This is the campaign name. So we'll be going and seeing what campaign is, what budget is, results, everything. But basically, to start the process, we will be clicking on this create ad tool, and is going to ask you, now again, this is something new. I've never seen this before. Create complete campaigns, create campaign shells. Again, I'm sure there's testing something like a quick way of creating an ad, but anyway, this is a course. We want to create a complete campaign so that you know how to do it. Earlier on, I never used to ask all this. Just going to close this. So this is the window where we'll be starting our stuff, because from the next video onwards, I'll be just talking about what are these different ads that you're seeing, like brand awareness, engagement, traffic, which are the important ones, which are the ones that we are bothered about. And then we'll be starting off by finally creating an ad for our dummy business. Of course, I'll be doing this through my own advertising account, so you won't see this name or this number here. You'll be seeing my account there. But I just thought I'll use this another account just to show you how this whole process looks right from scratch. So no rocket science about it. Let's go on to the next video. Let's get in finally to the part where we will create our ads. See you there. Hello there, welcome back. It's time to get into the most important part of this course, which is to learn about Facebook ads and finally to start creating the ads. But before we can actually create the ad, you need to know what these different types of ads are, which are the important ones and which are the ones that we'll be focusing on. So again, Facebook keeps on changing this. Earlier on, it never used to be like this. They simply just used to have these different categories, but now they've divided these categories of ads by what you're trying to achieve as an objective for your business. For example, if you just want awareness, then you have brand awareness ads or reach ads, and these ads are basically used mainly when you just want to show your ad to as many people as possible, when you're trying to create a brand basically. And for the purpose of this course, we are not really interested in this particular ad. We're kind of more interested in ads which help us achieve something, not just awareness. We really want the user, when they click on our ad, when they go to our website, we want them to take certain action, like let's say at least giving their email address or making a purchase of our product or service or something like that. So we will avoid these type of ads. Next is consideration. Here you have this ad called traffic, which simply means that if someone clicks on your ad, they go onto your website, so that counts as traffic. That means if you keep on running that ad, more people click on that ad, they go onto your website, just like we've been seeing before, well then it just adds the traffic to your website. For example, in case you've just forgotten about the ads, well, let's say I'm on my home feed, and if I just keep going down, at some point I will be seeing an ad. So say sponsored like this. So this is an ad, you can see here. I think this is something about how to make a living if you're an artist, but it's not really a very good looking ad, to be frank. I mean, I don't know, I probably wouldn't use this image, but maybe because it's so different it might work. But let's probably see another ad, I think, which looks more like an ad. I think this one is good. Shiv Khera is like a very popular best-selling author, motivational speaker in India, and let's see what his ad is about. So you can see sponsored written, that means it's an ad. Learn the power of persuasion and outsell your competition. So something like a sales seminar. You can see the date and all here, and gain and regain customers. So right, this is, I think, a good ad. So if I click on this ad, and it's going to take me somewhere to Shiv Khera's website where I can complete a certain action, right? Maybe let's say filling up this form and attending his seminar. So this can be done through the traffic ad, because when I clicked on this ad and I went here, this is counting, I'm counting as, that one person, like the one session or one traffic for Shiv Khera's website. Then so we will be starting off with this traffic ad because it's very, very easy to just understand. This is it's exactly going to be like this, that you'll create an ad and we'll just take people onto a specific page on our website. So we'll be starting off with this, very easy to understand for beginners. Engagement is something when you want to get more likes, responses, and things like that on your ad. Not really too important. Not many people use this. In fact, this is quite a big mistake when people run ads. You can use this type of ad to create ads where you want to increase the page likes. You can see here. So earlier on, Facebook used to have a separate ad which said page likes. Now they've included this in engagement. But page likes ads are to be actually avoided. I know many people like to increase the likes on their Facebook page because we have just been brought up that way, right? I mean, when we have more likes, when we have more of something, it's good. So when you have a new page, using these page likes ads from here, you can actually get even to 10,000 likes in a single day if you're ready to pay the money. And then it'll be so much fun to show off to everyone, to your friends, to everyone that, look, I just had this new page and now I have 10,000 likes. And that can easily be done by paying Facebook and creating these likes. But remember, what we saw in the earlier video when we were talking about organic versus inorganic marketing, likes don't really mean too much by itself. If the people are not engaging with your posts when you start creating them on your page, Facebook will ultimately stop showing your content to them. And then even if you have 5 lakh likes, but your post is only being showed to, let's say, 1,000 people, then it's no point of having that many likes. So these kind of ads, they don't really give you too much in return. They just take everything from you, and yeah, you get something like page likes and all, but those are not very important. Again, we are interested in something which generates something for you, either revenue, sales, leads, or anything. So we're going to avoid this. App installs are ads which are great for people who have apps on the Google Play Store or other Play Stores, because when you see these kind of ads, just like I clicked here on this ad, if you see an app ad, when you click on the ad, it's directly going to take you to Google Play Store and you'll be able to install your app. So these are great for people who have apps. Again, we won't be spending too much time on this. So these are slightly more advanced than our normal ads. Video views, as the name suggests, to increase, get more views if you have a certain video. Again, not too important right now. Lead generation is, getting more emails of people. And again, we can do this through the traffic ad also by having a, like a form like this on our website. So that's not a big deal. Messenger ads or messages ads these days are very popular, so that you start getting more messages from people, and you can see the ads in the messenger, a lot of other things, but again, not too important. Now, coming back to this third category, which says conversion, you can ignore these two. They're not really used too much, especially for beginners. But this particular ad is the one which will be very, very important to us, and this is the category on which we'll be spending a lot of time. Now, the reason for this is, now first of all, what is a conversion ad and why is it so important? There's no difference between traffic and conversion ad. So when you run a conversion ad, it's exactly going to look like this. Like when you click on something, it takes you to a website somewhere, but everything is measurable. That means when you run a conversion ad as opposed to a traffic ad, what happens in a traffic ad is, okay, I clicked on this ad, boom, I went here, but that's it. That's all you'll come to know through when you see the ad reports. Later on, we have a section on how to analyze your ad by seeing what is happening with it. So how do you see the numbers associated with the ad? So it'll only show me, okay, these many people clicked on your ad, so that means these many people reached on your website. But with this particular ad, this is, you can say this is a traffic ad on steroids. So with a conversion ad, I can exactly come to know whether this person actually took the action that I wanted them to take or not. And this is done through something called as a Facebook pixel, which you'll have to install on your website. But again, we will be seeing that later on. We'll see when we come to that. But basically, conversion ads are the ads which 99% of the Facebook advertisers and marketers use, and this will be the most important ad. But just to get the base strong for beginners, this is a good ad to start off with. So this is what we'll be doing. And of course, there's a third type of ad, which I've already talked about before, which is called boost post, which comes under your post that you make on your page. And this is there to artificially increase the reach and to reach to more people than what you reached organically. So organically, I only reached 903 people, but if I click on boost post, I can reach all, many more people that have liked my page by selecting different options here. So this is basically like turning your post into an ad. So we'll be also seeing this because this is also very, very helpful. So basically 3 types. We'll be starting off with traffic, then we'll be moving on to conversions, which is kind of traffic on steroids, and later on we'll also be seeing how to use boost post. If you get good with these 3, or in fact just 2, conversions later on, traffic is just for understanding, conversions and boost post, you're basically good to go as far as Facebook advertising is concerned. And of course, if you have apps and all, then you'll have to use, but overall the system that you're going to learn when we actually start creating the ads will remain pretty much the same, even though the objective may differ. All right, that's what you have to understand. So you know one ad, you know almost all of it. Right, so having said that, now finally, from the next video onwards, first of all, I'm going to be telling you what is the objective of creating an ad, why are we creating a certain ad for our business that we created, the fake business, and then we'll be starting off this ad and actually creating the ad. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye for now. All right, welcome back. I hope you liked the basic section. I hope that you're actually performing the steps of creating the Facebook page and the advertising account just like I've been showing you through my dummy business. But now is the time we'll slightly move in towards the more advanced stuff, because in this section, we'll actually be creating our first Facebook ad. It's just going to be a basic ad, but you will be learning a lot from it, especially when it comes to learning how to target your customer through your Facebook ads. But before we actually get started with creating our first ad, I do want to dedicate one video to make you understand why Facebook advertising is much better than traditional forms of advertising, like advertising on newspapers, on magazines, on radio, on TV, and all the traditional forms of advertising or marketing that we are used to seeing. So these days, online marketing like Facebook advertising is just beating all these other sorts of traditional forms of marketing, and through this first video, you're first going to understand why Facebook advertising is perhaps the best right now. And then after that, we will actually get on to the part where we will be creating our first Facebook ad. So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a new challenge. I'm going to see you inside the section. Let's go there. All right, so why are Facebook ads so important these days? Well, these are the 4 reasons which I believe Facebook ads are really dominating, the ad industry, and they're so important to an advertiser. The first one is the most important here out of all these 4. And even if you just understand this one, you'll understand when we go into our ads and when we finally make how important this is. So what do I mean by targeting? Well, targeting means that whenever you are trying to sell something like a service or a product through your Facebook ad, Facebook ads allow you to specifically reach a certain type of audience, and you can choose that type of audience by selecting different features of that audience. What I mean by that is, let's say in our example, we have made this gym business. So if we are trying to run memberships, and I'm going to show you this when we create the ad, I can tell Facebook that, all right, show this ad to people who are staying in the locality in which the gym is around. So of course that is going to be important. So I'll be able to select the locality, which I'll be showing you how to do that when we create the Facebook ad. Then I can tell Facebook what should be the age. So let's say if I choose something like, I can choose something like 24 to 45 years, because let's say my gym, the membership is slightly costly. So I don't want people below 24 years who don't have that buying power to unnecessarily see my ad. And because later on you'll realize when we cover this section in this course where we'll be talking about the analytics, you will realize that if you're unnecessarily showing your ad to an audience which is not interested in your ad, this can make your ad slightly more expensive. Right now you won't understand this. We'll get to this later on. Right now we're just talking about targeting. And let's say I can even target gender. I can even target the interests of the people. So I can type, Facebook allows me, there's a box for interests, and I can type, let's say, fitness. And again, I'm going to show you all this. I'm just giving you like a brief overview. Now, why am I telling you this right now? Because this is usually not possible with your traditional forms of advertising. For example, let's say another option I have, if I were to do offline marketing, would be to, let's say, put out an ad like this, like the ads that we see in magazines for businesses and all. And the problem with these types of traditional advertisements is that they're not very targeted. Like, let's say, especially if this is in a general magazine, you're paying, if you are paying this magazine for this ad, they're going to charge you for, let's say, the number of copies that they're distributing and all these other factors, whereas not everyone reading this magazine will be interested in your ad, yet you are paying for them, right? So this is not the case with your Facebook ads, because once you select your targeting, you're only going to pay money to Facebook when someone who's really interested in your business is watching your ad. So you can reach down to your your target customer and make sure that Facebook only shows your ad to those people. And of course, we're going to be looking at this, and these are just some of the options. There you'll see we have even more things. I'm going to give you more examples later on when we create the ad on how to reach a specific customer. The next important thing about Facebook ads and online ads in general is the reach, which means that with, again, like let's say if you're talking about a magazine ad or a newspaper ad, you're limited to, let's say, your city or your area. But with Facebook ads, you'll see that in the location part, we can sell our product or service, if possible, in any part of the world. So both are possible, that I can also have a small locality which just targets a small local area around me if I have a local business, like let's say a gym. But the opposite is also true. Like let's say if I were to sell an ebook or something which is digital, which can be downloaded from anywhere in the world, the location does not really matter. So then I can just tell Facebook, okay, instead of this locality, show my ad this time to the whole world. I can select countries, cities, anything that I want. So the reach is absolutely unlimited. The whole earth is at your disposal. Then the next part is, and we have a separate section for this, where I'll be showing you how exactly can you measure your ads performance. So there are certain metrics that we'll be learning about. So you'll come to know if you run an ad, whether you should stop your ad immediately, or whether if it's profitable, should you continue it. So that's another thing that you can do in Facebook ads. If something is not working, we can just see some metrics, some analytics, and we can immediately stop that ad so that we don't waste any money on that. And talking about money, the last part is that Facebook ads currently are probably the most economical way to advertise your business. They're very, very cheap. I remember when I started off Creative Pad Media years back, I really did not have too much money with me. It was just some money that I had saved from my earlier jobs. But that was more than enough for me to start this business using Facebook ads. That's why in the first video I told you that this can be a life-changing experience for you. And one of the reasons for that is that Facebook ads till now, really, as compared to other ads, like for example, let's say as compared to Google ads, Facebook ads are way, way cheaper. And if you're doing things the right way, which you will be after you follow this course, hopefully, they can really prove to be very cheap. I'm not saying the cheapest, absolute cheapest possible ads out there. There are definitely some platforms which might give you, but economical as well as effective. That's the key. So they're cheap, but they really do the job also. So these are some of the reasons why you should be excited about Facebook advertising. From the next video onwards, we're going to actually go into our dashboard and finally create our first ad. So I'm going to see you there. Bye for now. All right, so now that you know why Facebook is so important, Facebook advertising, let's create our ad. So I'm going to create this traffic ad. Like I told you, it's very, very easy to understand. And what I've done is I've just made a sample website for Fitness Fire Passion using Wix. This is a good software if you're just a beginner and you just want to quickly create a site. So that's wix.com, Wix. And I've just created this website, so this is the home page. And what we want to do right now with this ad is that we want to send traffic onto our website. So if someone clicks on our ad, they should come on our website. So we're going to do that through this ad. I don't want to send them on the home page because there are too many things here. And so what I'm going to do is, let's say if I have some page which kind of deals with selling something or some objective, like for example, there was this book online page that Wix just made for me. And this is a good enough example. Let's say if this can be a membership page. This is maybe you're selling some fitness product through your gym, whatever. Basically, somebody is going to make some purchase and we're going to send them here with the hope that they will buy something. Now, that's not the correct way to do it. Later on, when we start off with these ads, like I told you earlier, these are going to be the important ads. And this is where we'll kind of approach this whole thing in a much more professional way, so that each click that you get on your ad, you have a good chance of this sale happening. Right now, this is just a traffic ad. This is not how I would actually do it. But like I said, this is much easier to understand for beginners. So all you do is just click on traffic, and then the first thing you have to do is you have to just name your campaign. So when you have to, I'll be talking about how these ads are structured after I create the ad, because if I tell you where does the campaign come, where do the ads come under that, it'll just be very confusing, because right now you've not seen the ad actually in action. So I'm actually going to do this after we make this ad. So the campaign name just means campaign means your overall objective of why you're doing something. So we're just going to name it, let's say, memberships. So that later on, when you look at your Facebook dashboard, you'll be seeing campaign written on it. In fact, let me just show you this quickly with my own campaigns that I'm running right now for Creative Pad Media. So for example, we've got a campaign running to sell our Photoshop course, which we have. So you can see that when I created this campaign, I started off with naming it as Photoshop for Beginners. So that you can see how many campaigns I have, because I've been doing this for very long. So looking at this just immediately tells me, okay, this is the ad which is about Photoshop, selling Photoshop course, right? So campaign name is no rocket science. It's just going to help you basically recognize what this ad is about. So I'm going to click on continue then. And this is where the fun will start. So this is how the Facebook ad making or ad creation dashboard looks like, and everything happens here. So the first thing it's asking me is to name this ad set. And ad set is the next level. So campaign is your overall objective, and within your campaign you can have different type of ad sets. And ad sets usually refer to you're just going to type in somewhere here that what is it that you're targeting here. So let's say I can have one ad set that targets only women. So later on when we start making this ad, we have this gender option here, so I can only show this ad to women. And then let's say I can have another ad set which only targets men, or you can target something different. Maybe one ad set targets people living in my city in Pune, and one ad set targets some other city. But of course right now it's a gym, so it doesn't make sense because nobody from another city would come to another city to gym. But I'm just giving you an example. Let's say you can divide it by cities, age, demographics, like we'll be seeing. So basically ad sets will help you understand whom was this ad targeted to. And I know it kind of sounds a bit confusing right now. That's why, like I told you, once I create this ad, when you actually see the hierarchy of how Facebook works, the ad system works, it'll be much easier for you to understand. So right now, let's say I'm just going to write in general targeting, because we're just going to have a basic general targeting for our first ad. And then I'll be creating one more ad set so that you'll kind of understand what is an ad set. All right, so let's call it general targeting. Next is asking us, where do you want to send this traffic to? So these days it has included options like you can send it to an app also if you have one. You can send it to your messenger also, so that people can communicate with you on your Facebook page. But just for simplicity, we're going to just stick to website, because we want to send it to this URL here that I've made. And you don't have to worry about this. I'm going to skip some things because trust me, when you're a beginner, most of these things don't really matter. I still don't use most of these things, which I'm not going to show you. So you can skip this, you can skip offer. Like if you had an offer, you can make this on, but not too necessary. Now this is the part where it starts to get very interesting. So this part is actually very crucial, which says audience and custom audiences. But right now we won't be talking about this. We'll cover this later on, because this is slightly advanced but very, very important. But this is going to be later. This is something that we'll be starting off with. So the first thing it is asking me is, whom do you want to show? Like, where should those people who see this on Facebook, whatever the ad that we're about to make, once people see this, which city do you want to target? So, I can even target different countries. I can only target one particular city. So in this case, since it's a physical gym, and let's say we are selling memberships, so we're only going to target people who are living around our gym. So first of all, I'm going to type in here my city, which is Pune, and then it's going to just give me this option. So I'm going to select this, and not only that, I'll actually zero into the exact location where my gym is. So we can just take any example. Let's say the Deccan Gymkhana is a very popular area in Pune. So I can just click on this drop pin, and I can, I could have zoomed in more also, drop in exactly where my address is, and I can just, once I do this, it's only going to target the people who are living around that area. Right now, this radius is very, very big, but I'm just going to decrease the size of this radius. So I can, right now it's set to 10 miles, which is I think around 15 kilometers. In India, it's all in kilometers, so I'm kind of used to that. But let's say if I probably make it to 3 miles, it's going to shorten this radius. And now we're mainly targeting people who can come to my gym. Otherwise, there's no point in, let's say, showing this to someone who's in Susgaon or in Khadki, which is very far away, or in Wagholi. Like, these areas are like in the outskirts, and nobody would come all this way to the gym. If, of course, let's say I was selling a digital product in India, then I don't even need to select Pune. For example, for our online courses, our photography courses, I just usually leave this at India, because anyone can buy it. The location is not a restrictive factor. So this is something it'll just depend on your business and what you're trying to sell. Okay. Then this is done. So you can see immediately this is great, because, again, going by our traditional advertising example, let's say with your magazines or newspapers, you pay for all their subscriptions. No matter where the newspaper is going, they're going to count and make sure that you pay for that, even though it may not be necessary for you, unless until it's a very specific small area magazine which caters to, let's say, only people for Deccan Gymkhana, but that's not too popular anywhere in the world. So next factor is the age. So of course we have to be careful here also. So for example, let's say my memberships are slightly more costly. So I don't want to target teenagers, because they may not have the kind of money. So in India, people usually start working from the age of around 24, 25. And of course, not many people, very old people are here. So let's say I'm going to select 25 to 45. This is usually the age group I select for most of my ads, because this is where most of your conversions will take place, especially if you're trying to sell something. Okay, then let's say gender. So in this case, we're going to select all, but I can also, if this was a women only gym, then I can only select women. If this is a men only gym, I can select men. So I have that option also. So for example, let's say if you're running a ladies beauty salon and you want to just run the ad for that, then obviously you won't select men, you'll only select women. Languages, I just normally leave this as it is. I don't enter anything, but this can be helpful if, let's say, you're running an ad and you want to target expats or people who speak a particular language. So I can type, like, for example, German here. So it's mainly going to show my ad to people who speak the German language. So let's say if if someone has come from Germany, they would have probably entered their language as German. So in some cases this can be helpful, but usually this will be, you will just leave it as it is unless until you are in some sort of a business which is targeting people who speak a particular language who are staying in this area. So it is a powerful feature. We're not going to use it right now. We don't care what language people speak. We want them to come to our gym irrespective. We're not going to use it right now. We don't care what language people speak. We want them to come to our gym irrespective. Now, this option is very important, detailed targeting. Now, Facebook has all the data about what you do. So when you have a personal account on Facebook, what do? You like pages, you show some interest, you like posts and all these things. And Facebook can come to know through your activity on Facebook, like liking, clicking, sharing, commenting, what is it that you're interested in. So for example, if someone has liked many fitness pages like bodybuilding.com, Gold's Gym, then we can target them here because Facebook would have put them in the category of fitness. So I can type fitness here. And so you can see here, like the first option that comes, physical fitness interests. So now if I select this, it's only going to show my ad to people who are 25 to 45 living in this area, men and women, but also they should have shown the interest of fitness while being on Facebook. So this makes my ad very targeted because I'm not showing to someone, let's say, who's absolutely not interested in fitness. They can be a person who's just, does not like going to the gym and all. And again, with your traditional forms of advertising like magazines and all these things, you're going to pay for those people also unnecessarily. They'll just flip the page to the next page. They won't care about your ad, but you have paid. So that this is not the case with online advertising. You can absolutely zero down to the kind of people that you want. Now, one thing I want to show you is all this while there's something called as potential reach here, which is audience size. This is when you keep on making these selections. This just shows to you that according to this selection, according to this target audience that you've selected, this segment of audience that you've selected, what is the potential reach right now that you have? That means how many people are likely to fall within the target audience that you've selected. And this is kind of important because this should not be too narrow. So don't make so many choices. Like let's say probably if I was to decrease this, just keep an eye here because already we are potential reach has gone down because we've selected such a specific area. If I was to select the whole of India, this would be a big number. But let's say if I was to shift this from 25 to only 30, just keep an eye out on this. This is going to decrease. So because of course, then that would mean less people. So you can see now it's almost become half of what it was before, right? So keep an eye on this number also because this should not get too less. It's okay if it's more, that's not a big problem, but it should not be on this red area, at least when you're starting out. This is slightly more for advanced people, and this is done when you're retargeting ads and all, and that is something we'll be talking about later. Don't get confused right now. It also tells you not only the potential reach, it also tells you how much daily results can you get. So it's right now with this current selection, my ad will be reaching around 7 to 21,000 people. Okay, and it's going to have this landing page views. That means that this page is expected to get these many views per day. And of course, one of the criteria for this is also going to be the budget, which I'm going to come to. That means how much money are you willing to put on this ad per day. If I put less money, this is going to go down. If I put more money, Facebook will increase this obviously. Then you have the option. Now, one thing I want to show you is that you have a lot of options here. So let's say if I was running a yoga training, then I can, instead of physical fitness, I can type yoga. So you can type anything that is related to your business. In this case, it will make more sense if I select specifically yoga. Now, let's say I want to give you another example also, just to show you the power of Facebook advertising. Let's say in this case, we are running this ad for sales. But let's say we are running an ad because we are recruiting people for our gym and we want to recruit trainers, personal trainers. So you can see how easy it's going to be with Facebook. In this case, I can select physical fitness also, that's fine. But what I can also do is, I can also type in fitness trainer. And what you'll see is that this time, instead of interest, it is showing me fitness trainer job titles. So that's another thing you can do from here. You can do a lot of things. I can even target people whose job titles, that when they made their Facebook personal account, they've put their job title as fitness trainer. So Facebook has that data. So if I show my recruitment ad and I only select this, I know that my ad is only going to people who are actually fitness trainers somewhere, and hopefully they like my offer of my gym that I'm proposing and they'll come for a job interview to me. So it's not just for sales. You can really use Facebook advertising for a lot of different things. I'll probably be talking about more of these demographics, behaviors later on. Right now, let's just keep things very simple and let's keep moving on. Just to give you a small example, for example, when we sell our online courses, I usually select photography here because our courses are mainly related to photography, and I type that here. So that does the trick. Then it's connections. So you have the option that, do you only want to show it to people who are connected to your Facebook page? That means people who like your page or friends of people who like already your page. So this is a good, decent option if you already have a very popular page like I have with Creative Pad Media. So in that case, I can probably select this, but I still don't, because then this is going to restrict your reach, because then it's only going to show it to people who have liked your page, which is also not a bad thing, because if someone has liked your page, that means they're super interested in your business and they can also, be a part of your target audience. But right now we're not going to select this. Then it comes to placement. Placements means where all should these things come on Facebook. So one of the, let me just go to Facebook. So one of the areas where your ad can come is, so you can see immediately we are seeing an ad by Creative Live, a very popular photography education company from the US. So you can see they're running an ad here, and this is called as the news feed ad, because this is your news feed, and this is probably the biggest ad that Facebook gives you. And so we can also select here, for example, while creating this ad, that don't go for automatic placements, click on edit placements and only select Facebook newsfeed. Right, and you can see it's selected everything. So it has Instagram feed. If you have an Instagram account, you can connect it with your Facebook account, and it's also going to show the ad that you're making on Instagram, which is also a powerful feature. Facebook Marketplace, video feeds, right column. So right column ads come usually right, like here. You can see this one run by Creative Live, sponsored, and this is a right column ad. So you can really select something that you want. The newsfeed ads work really, really good, and you can also select the devices. So earlier on, like almost 6-7 years back, we actually used to uncheck mobile because the mobiles were not sophisticated enough, and people used to mainly browse Facebook and all through their desktop. But now it's completely the opposite. Now you really have to make sure that mobile is selected, because almost majority of the people browse their Facebook on their mobile and not on the desktop. So you can see we have all these options. As a beginner, and I still do this even right now, I leave it at automatic placements, because what Facebook does is going to show your ad everywhere initially, all the placements that you saw, Instagram, right column, marketplace, newsfeed, and then it automatically starts showing your ads more on those areas where it's performing better. So leaving this at automatic placements is not a bad idea at all, especially when you're a beginner and you don't know much about placements. I'll probably talk about this later on when we go more advanced and you're more comfortable with the ad. Right now you can leave it at automatic placements and give the hard work to Facebook. Then we come to budget and schedule. So this is where the first option is, how do you want to optimize your ad delivery? There are a lot of options here, link clicks, daily. I don't want to get into this right now. Right now, let's just leave it at what Facebook has automatically chosen, which is landing page views, because this is exactly what we want right now, right? We want people to reach this landing page. So a page like this in the digital marketing language is referred to as a landing page. And later on, we'll be talking about a thank you page also, which is something we'll be seeing when we see another type of ad. But right now, we want to send people over to this page, and this option is perfect. We don't want to do anything on cost control right now. It's a beginner's course. I actually, even for my current ads, I don't really change too many things here. Of course, this is important. Your budget is the one of the most important things, because of course, how much money are you willing to pay Facebook per day for your ad, and this is going to make a big difference. So let's say if I select 100 rupees instead of 800, which is by default, keep an eye on this. This is obviously going to go down. So you can see now it's really reduced. So there's no right or wrong for budget because it depends on how much are you willing to invest your money. But one thing is for sure, this is your safety zone, because you don't have to be panicky about Facebook ads. If you set your 100 rupees budget here, you can rest assured that Facebook won't spend more than 100 rupees per day. So that's because that's one fear people have, in Facebook advertising or any form of advertising, that how much money am I willing to spend? That is totally under your control. I normally, when I'm testing an ad, I usually leave this at around 500 rupees per day, because that gives me enough people to reach to and to really come to know whether the ad is working or not. So I would suggest, but right now I know you're starting off, so maybe you can select 250 rupees, 200 rupees, something that you're comfortable with. That's the main thing. Then you can also set a start date. Let's say you don't want to start your ad immediately when you finish making this ad. You want to start it at a separate date. You can, using this option. Not really too important right now. All right, let's go down. You can also schedule your ads. Right now it's not allowing us because oops. Okay, so in order to run this on a schedule means that, let's say I don't want Facebook to run my ad 24 hours. I only want Facebook to run my ad and show it to people, let's say from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. From 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So let's say if you are maybe you're kind of selling something and you find that most of the people buy that product only at night, maybe when they've come back from office, and you've seen that out of the 24 hours, you're getting majority of your sales during the night time, then why show that ad throughout the day? So using this scheduling option, you can show it at a particular time. Again, as a beginner, I would not recommend you to use this because you'll have to change this to a lifetime budget and all these things. Right now, let your ad run for 24 hours. Majority of the people don't use scheduling. They just let their ad run, because if you use scheduling, you never know, you might miss on a potential customer who's not seeing your ad at the other time also. So as a beginner, I would say leave this as it is. Even leave your delivery at standard. You have accelerated delivery also. So this means that if you set it to standard, Facebook will show your ads throughout the day, like, just in bits and pieces. Sometimes it'll show, then it'll show. But if it's accelerated, then you have the option of immediately just absolutely blasting to your whole audience your ads at one point of time. Again, not recommended for beginners. I'm purposely not doing anything which is not used often by advertisers. So don't think that I'm missing out on a lot of things. These things are not really important, the ones that I'm not really spending time on. Then we're going to click on continue. And this is the area where you'll actually be creating your ad copy. That means, like, you're seeing this ad by Creative Live. So this refers to the copy. That means the image and the text and the headline that people actually see is the copy of your ad. And this is what we're going to create now. So the ad set has got to do with the targeting. So our target audience is done now. We know whom this ad is going to be shown to. But now is the time to actually create what is the ad that is going to be shown to people. So first thing that of course you'll have to show is tell Facebook that which page do you want this ad to be from. So right now you can see I have Creative Pad Media selected, but then this is not my ad for Creative Pad Media. So I have to select the other page, which is Fitness Fire Passion. So in case you have multiple pages later on, make sure you select the right page. And this has happened with me a lot of times where I have not paid attention to this, and later on I've seen that ad running somewhere and the page is wrong, and that you just lost your money if that's the case. Not lost your money, but of course, yeah, I mean, it's not good. So then in case you have an Instagram account, you can also select here, because we've selected automatic placement. So if you select your Instagram account from here, right now we don't have one, but if you select it, the same ad that we're going to create for Facebook is also going to be shown on Instagram, because Facebook owns Instagram, if you already don't know that. So and Instagram ads are great, so you should definitely have an Instagram account. Very, very popular social media platform these days. Then comes to the format of the ad. Right now, for simplicity, I'm not going to talk about these two. we're just going to do with single image or video, and we're going to stick to single image. You don't have to worry about this add an instant experience right now. Don't worry. Simply, we're just going to select the image that we want. So you can click on this. So for example, Creative Live, this company, when they must have created this ad, they would have selected this image at this step. So we have to select our own image. So in case you already have a design of the ad that your graphic designer has made for you, then of course you can upload that here. Another very great option that Facebook did, a couple of years back is going to this free stock images option. So they tied up with a company called Shutterstock, very, very popular company, which sells stock images, very professional looking images that you can use for your ads. So I can come here, I can type fitness, and then it's going to search the Shutterstock database and show me fitness related photos. So I can add up to 6 images, which Facebook will rotate and it will tell you which one is doing better. That is in the analytics section, which you'll be seeing later. But I can select 1 image, also 2 images. But usually it's a good idea to at least select 3-4 images because you never know which image performs better, right? Later. But I can select 1 image, also 2 images. But usually it's a good idea to at least select 3-4 images because you never know which image performs better. Right now you're seeing 1 image, but this ad can also be presented with another image which might be more appealing than this image. Then that will get more reaction from your target audience. So usually it's a good idea to select 4, 5, 6 images also. So let's say we can select this. I'm just selecting right now randomly. Of course, when you do this properly, you'll have to be mindful of what you want to display through your image. So let's say I can select this, maybe this, and this woman here. And I'm going to click on continue. So it's going to add all these 6 images. And you can see our first ad is going to have this image. Our second ad is going to have this image. Third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth. Sometimes in some images which are not of the correct dimension, Facebook can have this feature which says automatically crop to square. So you can see the other images, it has taken the original like a landscape image. But if you don't like this, you can just deselect this option and it's going to take the original, which is slightly smaller. And I kind of go for that because when it crops, sometimes it works for some images, but sometimes it does not. And cool. So I think this is fine. If we had an Instagram account, we could have selected a different image for Instagram. Right now, we'll just leave it as it is. So you can see this is showing us, if I come down here, this is showing us a preview right now of how our ad would look when it actually goes out in front of the people. So you can select the different placement options here to see the preview. Right now, this is how it would look on a mobile phone. And let's say I can also select how it would look on a desktop newsfeed like this one. So you can see this is how it's going to look. So you can see it's looking similar to this ad. Right. Now the only thing is that we have to add a headline, we have to add some text above, which can be done from here. So you can add something about the whatever you're talking about through your ad. So for example, right now Creative Live is telling us about a flash sale, $29 today, and some kind of a class, some photography class, wildlife photography class is what they're selling. So this is where you talk about your ad. So let's say, you can type something like brand new gym in Pune, pre-bookings open at maybe 40% discount. Right? You can also have this on the image text here, like you can ask your designer to put the same thing or something similar to that on the image. So it doesn't have to be a blank image, but you have to be careful that your image should not be covered too much with text. Because if that's the case, Facebook will not allow you to run that ad properly. So I'll be talking about this later on because there's a tool which helps you in case you do decide to go in for an image which has text in it. I'm going to show you a tool which is offered by Facebook itself, by which you can upload that image on Facebook and it will tell you whether the amount of text is optimal for your ad or not. And in case it's not, you'll have to reduce the text. So this is done. I'll talk about that later on. You don't have to worry about this. Now, this is very important, website URL, because this is where we tell Facebook when someone clicks on this ad, where should they go to? So if I click on Creative Live's ad, I'm taken to some landing page of theirs where the wildlife photography class is there. And for us, that landing page is this one. So I'm going to just copy paste this URL and I'm just going to put it here. So now when someone clicks on my ad, when this ad finally goes, it's gonna go to this. They're gonna go just like I went to this page. They're gonna go over to this page. Now it's telling me pixel is missing for this page. Don't worry about this right now. Pixel is a very important concept. But like I told you about the conversion ads, when we talk about the conversion ads, that is where I'll be talking about the pixel. It's probably one of the most important things in Facebook advertising, but not right now. Right now, we just want to get our ad done. So I can select, I can see the previews of all my ads by just scrolling the different types of ads and the different types of placements from here. All right, so now it's the time to enter a headline, which is very important because the headline comes, this is the headline. So this is very prominent text. So I'm going to enter headline. Where's the headline? Yes. Maybe something like, you really have to think a lot when you enter the headline because like I said, it's very important. Right now I'm just going to enter something like brand new gym in Pune. Maybe something similar to what we entered above. But this has to be shorter. Memberships open. And make this as attractive as possible, something that really catches the eye of your viewer. Then you have call to action button, which is this button here. So, I can select book now, contact us, get offer. So maybe I'll select book now. I think that makes more sense because it's about bookings and memberships. Don't have to worry about display link right now. Don't have to worry about any of these things. Right now, it's telling me which Facebook pixel do you want. Right now, you can see that it's showing Creative Pad, but this is my pixel for my Creative Pad Media website, which is also part of this account that I'm running this ad from. But we know that this is a different website because that pixel is actually put on the website. So this is a separate website from creativepadmedia.com. So of course, I'm not going to select this pixel. Later on, I'll be showing you how to add the pixel. What the pixel is, we'll be talking about that later on and how it actually helps you. And that's it. You can see that our ad is ready to go. Not just ad, we have 6 ads here. So this one, and this one, this one, and this one. So that's all we have to do. You can see how easy this is. Within just some few minutes, we have created this ad, and now all I have to do is I just have to click on confirm. Once I do this, I'm not going to do this because of course this is not a real business. So I don't want to put my money anywhere where something in real life is not happening. But once you click on confirm, what happens is after some time, this ad goes in review. So let me just show you. For example, here you will see the campaign name written, memberships for gym, whatever the campaign name that we have selected. And right now you can see one of my ads is in review. So I had just put this ad out today. This is from my Creative Pad Media account, but it's still in review. So it stays like that till Facebook approves. So they have sometimes manual review done by people, or sometimes it's automated reviews, but they just see whether everything in your ad is fine, whatever the ad that you've created. And then after some time, you'll get a notification here on your Facebook account saying that your ad has been approved. And once that's the case, this particular ad that we are seeing right now, like this one, or maybe let's say this one, all these 6 ads will start to go here, just like you're seeing, just like I'm seeing this ad from Creative Live right now. If I was a part of the target audience that I had selected for my ad, for example, I had selected 24 to 45, living near Deccan Gymkhana. If I was a part of that group, then there's a good chance that when your ad goes approved, I'll start seeing this particular ad right here. And when I click on this ad, I'm going to go here, I'm going to click on book it, and I'll be a part of the Fitness Fire Passion Gym. So that's how easy it is to create an ad on Facebook and start and develop your business, right? As things move forward from the next video, we'll start to go into more advanced things like the conversions ads, and I'll be talking about a lot of other things. But I know this was long, but I hope that you liked this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. All right, so now you've created your first Facebook ad, and let me ask you, isn't it amazing? The power of targeting that you have within your capability now is just mind-blowing, thanks to Facebook's algorithm and the amazing data that it has for each person who creates a Facebook account. We can literally zero in on the type of our prospect that we want to show our ad to, in the hope that they will become our customer. But now things are going to go to the next level, because we're going to be learning about something even much more advanced and much better than the basic ad that we just learned, and that is the conversion ad. So we're going to be learning about conversion ads, how they work, how they associate with something called as a Facebook pixel, how to create a conversion, and how to link it to our conversion ads. Right now I know it's probably might be sounding like Chinese, but once we go into this section, you will understand everything properly. But the point is, conversion ads is where the serious marketing and serious advertising takes place, because conversion ads are the type of ads which will help you monitor what your prospect did even after they've clicked and gone onto your website, which is very, very important if for a serious advertiser. So this video is going to be slightly tougher. We're also going to be looking at much more advanced ways of targeting and zeroing on our customers. So let's not waste any time. Let's head into this section. I'm going to see you inside the laptop. See you there. All right, welcome back to the course. Now in this video, we will start to learn why conversions ads is the type of ad which you are supposed to use and which most of the people use. So let's jump into this. Now we were using the traffic ad, and what we were doing in the last ad was that when we created the ad, we wanted people to click on that ad, and we wanted them to just come on this page on our website. If you remember, this book online page where we were selling basically our services. Right now, the problem is that, let's say we created a beautiful looking ad in the earlier video, and then we publish that ad, and once it goes, people will start coming on this page. But then what? The problem with the traffic ad is that once they come on this page, some of them may click on this book it, and they might buy whatever you're selling. Some of them will just close the window and ignore whatever they saw. Maybe they didn't like it or something. But basically the point is that you will not come to know what is happening after your ad has been published. So you don't know when people start seeing that ad, when people start clicking on that ad, that's all you'll come to know about that ad. How many people have seen it, how many people have clicked it, but what was the action that they actually took after clicking and coming on your website, you'll have no clue. Whether someone closed this window or whether someone purchased it, you'll not be able to track it. But with the conversion ads, we will exactly come to know whether from, let's say, if 100 people saw the ad and let's say 50 people clicked on it, we can come to know that out of the 50 people who clicked, how many people actually purchased your service or product. And this is where the conversion ad is really, really helpful. And how this is going to work is, I'm just going to explain you with the help of a diagram. So let's say that this is our page on our website. So this is the booking page which we were just seeing, and this is our ad on Facebook. Okay, so this is our FB ad which is going to be shown on the people's home feed. And in the traffic ad, all that happens is when someone clicks, we've seen that they just land here, but after that there's no way to track what they're doing. Now this kind of a page where you're sending the people to from Facebook, where you're sending over people to this page. Now this particular page, in the marketing terminology, especially in the online marketing terminology, this is referred to as your landing page, because that is where people are landing. So landing page it's also called sales page. When you're trying to capture only the emails and you're not selling anything, that's it's also called as a squeeze page. So there are various names for this, but landing page would be one that kind of puts everything together. So this is our landing page. And then what we also need, but in order to run a good and an efficient ad where you know what's happening, you will need another page on your website which is referred to as the thank you page. So what this page is, that if someone buys my product or service and let's say they complete the purchase, I want them to be redirected automatically to a thank you page which says something like thanks for purchasing this product or service. And this is very common, right? Like when you buy something on, let's say, on Amazon, when you finish your purchase, there is a thank you page which says, okay, your order has been placed. This is the delivery, expected delivery date, and thanks for purchasing with us. And you want to continue shopping or do you want to exit? So you always get this on every website, right? And this page, of course, it's good in a way because you're thanking your customer, but this page actually plays a very, very vital role when it comes to marketing, and especially when it comes to online advertising, because this is the page that will tell you whether someone purchased your product or not. So here's how it works. Facebook, and I'm soon going to show you this, Facebook gives you something called as a Facebook pixel. Now a Facebook pixel is basically a code. And if you do remember, when we were creating our traffic ad, there was a point in our ad where I told you about this, that Facebook was asking us which pixel code do you want to use, and I said I'll be talking about this later. So basically this is the pixel code that Facebook will give you, and of course I'm going to be showing you where you can access the pixel code. But what this does is, once you get this code, there are a few lines of code that Facebook gives you. You can hire a developer, or you can, if you know how to do it yourself, you just have to put this code on your website. And what happens is, once you do that through a plugin, or you just have to put this, your developer will know, because Facebook will give you the instructions. I'll be showing you that when we access our code, Facebook will exactly tell you where to put it on your website so that it goes to each page on your website. So you don't have to put this manually on each page of your website. This was the case earlier on. These days, you just have to put it once and it comes automatically to every page on your website. So we'll be seeing this later. So for example, my landing page, in the back end, this code is there. On this page. Again, on the thank you page, this code is there. These lines of code. And it's going to be there on every page of your website. So you can have different pages, right? You can have, like, for example, on your website, you can have an about us page, contact us page, whatever pages you have. You can have unlimited pages on your website. This code is going to be there on every page that you have. And what this helps you in is that because it's there on every page of your website, Facebook knows the journey of the person who clicked. Because the moment the person comes on this page, because this Facebook's code is there, so Facebook is now tied to your website. This code on this particular page will get fired, or it will get triggered. So Facebook will come to know, okay, someone has landed here. And if they decide to purchase and they come here, then the code for this particular page will get triggered. So you will come to know that someone has actually bought your product. And what will happen is, when we create our conversions ads, later on when we go to the analytics, there'll be a section called as conversions. So the moment someone goes on this page, so their journey has been that they clicked on your Facebook ad, they went onto your landing page, they bought something, and they came here. And if this gets triggered, in the conversion columns, you'll find 1. So from 0, this will turn to 1. That means now you have one conversion, which is that you have made one sale. Because the only way this can be triggered is if someone comes on the thank you page. And the only way someone is going to come on the thank you page is if they buy your product, because that is how your website is set up, that when someone completes their purchase, they are redirected to this particular page and your conversion will fire. And this will show up on your ad. So you'll come to know, let's say if you have two ads, you have A and you have B. So maybe you were running a different image in one ad, or maybe you selected a different target audience. For example, let's say in our gym, in one of the ads, in ad A, we selected, let's say A was where in the interest we chose physical fitness, like we had done for our ad, right? And for the B ad, we created another ad. Everything was the same. The image was the same. Everything was same. And let's say this was physical fitness, and we targeted people from 24 to 45. Then in the B ad, we again used physical fitness. Let's say we kept the interest as same. But this time we selected 18 to 25 age range, right? Now what will happen is, you will run this ad, and let's say after 1 or 2 days you find that the conversions window of A ad is showing 5, whereas the conversions window of the conversions column, of the B ad is showing as 2. So you immediately know that this particular targeting and this particular age group is working better than this age group. So you will simply stop running ad number B. This is called as split testing, that you're testing out your ads and seeing which one performs better. And you can do split testing with a lot of variables, not just age. You can have different interests here. Maybe in one I can select physical fitness, maybe in the other I can select let's say something like CrossFit or anything related to maybe bodybuilding, just that particular interest. We can change the age, we can split test on gender, which gender is performing better, whether more males are getting converted than females or more females are getting more converted, buying more stuff than the males. You can do it with the geographical location, you can do it for cities. If you're selling a digital product, you can come to know which city is performing better for your product, which country is performing better for your product, and so many things. You saw how many things we selected there. You can play this split testing game with anything. You can also do it with the images that you use. So maybe one image is better than the other image, but the only way to come to know is to run different ads with different images. And then, because remember we selected 6 images, so we already had 6 ads. So you can come to know which of the image is performing better only if you're running a conversion ad. Because you'll come to know that, okay, this particular image that I used is looking better, people are clicking on this more, and people, therefore, I'm getting more sales. But how will you come to know that you've got more sales? When you're running a conversion ad and you have a pixel code installed on your website so that you can see along with the ad which one is triggering more conversions, which are basically more sales for you. So we stop the other ads, and the one which is producing the maximum number of sales, we keep on running that. And I know right now it might be slightly confusing to you, but when we actually go to our dashboard and start creating our conversions and our conversion ads, you'll find that it's very, very easy. But this concept is very important, and this is why when we start Facebook advertising, one of the first things that you're supposed to do is to put this code on your website. And if you don't know how to do that, again, you can go to Fiverr, the site that I had shown you, and you can go to fiverr.com, find a freelancer. There are a lot of freelancers which do this. You can just pay them like $10 and they'll install the Facebook code on your website. From the next video onwards, what we'll be doing is we need 2 steps before we can start our conversion ads. First step is, of course, that we need to get access to this code. So I'm going to show you how to access this code, Facebook pixel code. Put it on your website. So that's going to be the first step, to get our code, put it on our website. And the second step will be, we'll have to define a conversion. That means we'll have to create a conversion so that Facebook knows what the conversion means. For example, what we'll be doing is, we'll be creating a thank you page. And so that when someone buys this, they're going to get redirected to this particular page. And then what we're going to tell Facebook is, and I'm going to show you how to do this by creating a conversion. So we're going to click on create conversions on Facebook, and we're going to get the URL of this page. So let's say if this is something like www.fitnessfirepassion.com/ something like I'll just call it thank you. Maybe you can have a different extension, but whenever you create a page, it's going to have what we call as a URL. URL is this address that you see, www. in your that URL address bar on top. So we're going to define this when we create the conversion. We're going to tell basically Facebook that when someone reaches this particular URL, I want you to trigger a conversion called as, let's say we can give it a name. I'll be showing you that later on. So for example, we can call it membership purchase. And then later on, once we have this membership purchase conversion created, we're just telling Facebook when someone lands on this page, you're supposed to fire this conversion call as membership purchase. And then when we finally create our ad, the conversion ad is going to ask us, which conversion do you want to link this ad to? So we can link our ad to this particular conversion. So now it will show in the columns that, okay, if someone comes on this, next to this ad, we'll see the trigger, the conversion number going up. That means this particular conversion will be fired because the link to this ad. I know it definitely is confusing. You can just see by whatever I've drawn here, it's not easy to understand. That's why it's always best to just directly show you. But I just thought I'll kind of give you in this warm-up video, let me just give you a background of what we're going to do before we actually go there and do things step by step. So from the next video onwards, we're going to take our 2 steps, in fact 3 steps. We're going to create this thank you page. Then we're going to put our Facebook pixel code on our website, all over our website, and then we're going to create a conversion which is going to be called membership purchase. Then we're going to create a conversion ad so that we are all set to run a proper ad on Facebook. All right, so I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye for now. All right, welcome back to another video. Now we'll start with our first step, which is to create a flow. That means to create a landing page and a thank you page so that we'll be more organized in tracking our ads. So this time when we create our conversion ad, my landing page will be this particular page, because I think this just looks much better than the last page that we were using. It kind of looks more familiar, like the landing pages that you're used to seeing on Amazon where someone is selling something. So in the last landing page, we were selling our services like a membership for the gym and the different types of memberships. This time, let's say if we are trying to sell these particular products. So this time let's say our gym also has some products that we sell online. So we are also into that line of business. And, let's say there are some gym related or fitness related products. So this time we'll take a slightly separate example. Doesn't really matter which example we take, but this time this is our landing page. So this will be the URL when we put in our ad. And when someone purchases this and they complete their purchase process, so they click on this and they buy something, they are ultimately redirected to this particular page. So this is our thank you page, which says thank you for your order. The buyer name will be there. You'll receive your email confirmation soon. This is your order number. This is the total amount you've spent. And that's where the buying process will end. So this is our thank you page and this is our landing page, right? So these two URLs are going to be important to us because we'll have to use them when we create our ad. So this is one of the many steps completed. Now is the time to access our Facebook pixel, the code that we were talking about. So this is how your Facebook ads dashboard looks, where you see all your campaign. So like I said before, you can access this by going to this menu here, clicking on Ads Manager. Now, if you just go down here, you will see all tools. And if you just hover your mouse over it, or like a big menu here opens up. And in this menu, under Measure and Report, you'll find an option that says Pixels. So you have to select this option, just click on it, and it'll give you an option which says Set up Pixel. So if you just click on this, it's going to give you a couple of options. It says connect to a partner platform. For example, we're using this website through the software called Wix. So you can see that Wix already has a way of connecting your pixel code directly. So you don't have to manually do it. And I'm just going to show you how to do that in case you're using Wix. But right now, all this is not important. A lot of times you all might be doing this. This is manually install the pixel code yourself. So let's see, first of all, how this code looks like. So if I click on this option, you can see here that this is our code. So you can see the moment I hover my mouse, it says copy to clipboard, and it shows you where you exactly on your website you have to paste this. So you can see find the head tags in your web page code, or locate the header template in your CMS or web platform, and then copy paste this right here between the head tags. So of course, if you don't know all this, the coding and all, like I said, you can just go on to fiverr.com, and you can, I'm sure, though I've not tested this, but if I just type Facebook pixel, I'm sure you're going to find, people who do this. You can see like I will install Facebook pixel and set up remarketing audiences. Remarketing is something we'll be seeing later, but you can see that this guy will do it for you for $10. I will set up a Facebook pixel for $10. So you just have to select someone, or if you know someone of your own, or if you know how to do it yourself, it's not that tough. If you're just aware of how your website dashboard of the platform works. So it's not that tough, but basically you're going to just be asking your developer to copy paste this on your website. Then, like we discussed before, just doing that once will make sure that this has come automatically on all your pages on your website. Earlier on, like I told you, you had to paste this manually on each page on the website that you wanted to track, but nowadays it's much more convenient. Just have to paste this once in the header tag, and this is just going to automatically come on every page, and you'll be able to track this. So these days, of course, they made things even more easy. For example, if I am already using one of their partner platforms, like which in this case is Wix, then the process becomes very easy. I can, like, for example, select Wix from here. Then it just shows me all the steps I need to take in order to do this. So for example, if I go to my Wix dashboard, there's something called as marketing tools here. So I can click on this, then I can just go on marketing integrations, you don't really have to worry about this. I'm just showing you that these days is much easier. And you can see we get this option saying Facebook Pixel. So I can click on connect, and it's just going to give me the instructions of how to do it. So I already have my Pixel with me. All right, so when it comes to directly doing it on Wix, I think you need to be a premium member, in order to probably do this. But that again is not a problem. I just wanted to show you how it, basically has to be done. But yeah, once you have this Pixel, you're just gonna, sometimes some websites will only ask you not for the whole code. They'll just ask you for something like Pixel ID. So you also get a Pixel ID, which is this number here. So you can just put that, and it does the same job as installing the Pixel code. So like I said, I won't be able to do that right now because I'm not using the premium version of Wix. But that does not matter. If I had a developer, I would probably just ask them to manually install this through Wix. I'm sure there's a way to do that here. So I'm going to find whatever way it is. Ultimately, I will install the Pixel on my website. If not through this method, then probably doing it manually. But the bottom line is we just wanted to learn how to access our Pixel and then finally put it on our website. Once this is the case, once it goes on our website, we'll basically be starting the process of creating the next step, which is the second step, which is creating a conversion so that we know exactly what we're tracking on Facebook. So I'm going to see you in that video. Bye for now. All right, welcome back to the video. Now, I did a bit of research on how to connect the Facebook Pixel to Wix site, and what I found was that they do not allow you to connect a Facebook Pixel to your Wix site till the time you have a premium plan, which basically means, and they're right also, they're not wrong, because what that means is, right now you can see this, I just developed a free site on Wix. So if you see, look at the URL, it's not a good looking URL, like it's my username.wixsite.com. And of course, if you're running a professional business, you won't be having this. So if I have to get a domain like fitnessfirepassion.com, which will look more professional, then I have to basically go for the premium version that Wix offers, which is going to be like your hosting expense, and which you'll anyway be needing if you're running a proper website. So, but I'm not going to do that because this is a fake business. So I will not be able to use my Facebook Pixel on our dummy business website, and it doesn't really matter. It's not going to hamper our learning process since this is not a real business anyway. But basically, if you had a real website, you would install it just like the ways I had shown you in the last video. But we can continue absolutely without any problems right now. So because the process will remain exactly the same. There'll be no difference in our process. It's just that I won't have a real conversion when we create our conversion in this video. So this is a very important video which will actually start to make you understand what the Pixel is and how do we actually create a particular conversion. So let's get started. So we're going to go here again to this menu. We're going to go to all tools, and this time we will be going to again the same column here, measure and report, and we are going to click on custom conversions. It's going to take us to a page where we will be able to create a conversion. So you'll come to know what exactly is a conversion. So I'm going to click this button, and this is the area where you'll exactly tell Facebook what is the kind of conversion that you want to create and what will it be called, so that you remember later on when you start making your ad, the conversion ad, the first thing it's going to ask you is what conversion do you want to link your ad to. So we're going to create an ad later on for the shop, this landing page where we are selling these products. So where, let's say we're going to call this conversion something like, conversion would mean what is the result. So we're going to say purchase online products that we're selling. So we'll come to know if this gets triggered, we know that this is the conversion that is for our online product. That means this is the conversion for this particular page. And now we have to tell Facebook that what we want is that if someone comes over to our thank you page, so if someone buys any of these products, they come to this thank you page, which we have. So anytime someone comes to the thank you page, that means they've bought a particular product. So obviously each product can also have their own custom thank you page, so the URL will change, but right now we're not interested in that. Ultimately the point is we're going to have a thank you page. So we're going to go here, and this is where you'll be telling Facebook. So Facebook is asking us what exactly is this conversion? What kind of a website event is this conversion going to be like? So we're going to tell Facebook that is going to ask you for a rule. So we're going to say only when people come to this URL should you fire this conversion, which is called purchase online product, because we know that if they come here, they've bought the product. So we're going to copy this URL, that is the thank you page URL. We're going to cut it, and we're going to say when the URL equals or contains. I usually select contains instead of equals, because what happens is when you actually will be selling your products, sometimes some of the payment portals add something to the URL. So when a final purchase is taken place, the payment portal that you're using, which will be which will help you redirect from the payment portal over to the thank you page, sometimes they just add something like 1, 2, 3 to the URL. So in that case, I usually don't select equals, because then it won't fire, because if they add anything to this page, it will not be exactly this. So I usually leave it to contain here. So I'm just going to say contains this particular URL. So that means when someone comes on this website, this particular purchase online product conversion will get triggered, because this will contain this URL. Even if something is added to it, that is fine. So we've named already. We can select the category. So these are for purchases. You can also use it for, let's say, leads. If you're just taking up the email of someone and you want to just redirect them to the thank you page, in that case, you'll probably select lead. I'll select purchase here. You can even give it a value. If you're doing it for one particular product, you can even write the value in your currency, and you'll kind of come to know later how much you're making and all, but that can be tracked manually also. So not such an important thing right now. You can see it says optional. But you basically, that's it. So we're telling Facebook, just to summarize, we're telling Facebook, this conversion has to be triggered when someone reaches this particular URL. That means when someone buys our product, and we've selected contains, so that in case our payment portal in actual life changes the URL a bit, it'll still contain at least this part. And whatever it adds later on, that's fine. But at least the conversions will be recorded. So this is fine. So I'm just going to click on create, and you'll see that we will have our conversion created here, which is purchase online product. Now here it says no activity yet. Now this is going to probably stay like this, because remember, we don't have a pixel actually on this website. If we actually had a pixel installed on our real website, within some moments this becomes green and it says conversion is active. That means the Facebook code has recognized, your Facebook pixel has recognized this conversion, because it's just gonna through the parameters that we set, that particular page, the code on this particular page will get triggered. Let's say if I refresh this page once, if there was an actual pixel code behind this, this will trigger and this thing will become green. In our case, that's not going to happen, because there is actually no pixel code there, since we could not install the pixel code. But this is how you create your conversion. And now in the next video onwards, we'll start to create a conversion ad, and that is where we'll be entering this conversion and linking this conversion to our ad. So I'm going to see you in that video. Bye for now. All right, welcome back. So now that we have taken our steps of creating the custom conversion, and also though technically we did not actually install the Facebook pixel, but the very fact that you know how to, so that step is complete. Now it's time to create the ad. So we're going to go back to our creating page where we create our ads, and this time instead of traffic we'll be selecting conversions, and most of the process is going to remain the same. The creation process is almost going to remain the same as traffic, the ad that we saw. So first thing, of course, it's going to ask me is the campaign name. So this is, like I've already told you, this is about the overall objective. It helps you to recognize that. So this is the top level, which when you look at your dashboard, ultimately when we'll be running ads, the first thing that you're going to see is the campaign name. So this time, like last time it was memberships, this time, since we're doing it for this particular page where we are selling our online products, we're going to call it online products. And I'm going to be talking about the hierarchy also in this particular video once again, so that you'll understand what campaigns are, what ad sets are. So campaign is the overall objective. I'm just going to click on continue. You can leave these two right now as it is. Again, we see that familiar dashboard where we created, there's just going to be some minor differences this time. So first thing, of course, is the ad set name. Ad set, like I already told you last time, is about targeting. So this time you'll actually understand this in a better way. So our campaign, that is the overall objective, is to sell online products, and within that we're going to have multiple ad sets, or we can have multiple ad sets. So for example, let's say this time we are selling these online products from our website. Now let's say we sell it to 3 different cities. One is the city of Pune, where our gym is. We also ship these products to Mumbai, which is a close by city to Pune, and we also ship these products to Bangalore. So we can target people who are living in these 3 cities. So one way would be that when we go on to locations, we can simply type the cities, all the 3 cities in our targeting here. But a better way would be to create separate ad sets for separate cities, so that later on you will be able to see which of the cities is performing the best for you, and then you can kind of put more budget on that city. If you do it all together, it'll be very tough for you to find out which people from where are they exactly buying, though that is also possible when I'll be showing you all this in the analytics later on. But usually when we split test, the split testing criteria usually determines what the ad set name will be. So for example, let's say we create this first ad set. So we'll create 3 ad sets in this particular campaign. The first one, let's just call it Pune. Okay, so this ad set is going to be for Pune, and later on we'll just be basically copying this ad set and creating its copy, and simply we'll just change the location here to the other city. So I'll be showing you how to do that. So this is for Pune. Now this time it's asking us, what conversion do you want to link this ad to? So remember, we already made this conversion for this thank you page. That means when someone comes on this page, that pixel should trigger. So I'm going to select here purchase online product. This was the conversion that we made. And you can see it's the moment I select this, it tells me that your custom conversion isn't active. We haven't received any activity from this pixel or this conversion product. That's because we don't really have a pixel. But if you actually had this, this particular thing would have turned green, and this would just become active. But we don't have a pixel, so that's not going to happen. But this is where you'll be linking the conversion to the ad, right? So that is an important step. We're going to be talking about audiences in the next section, a very important feature, but right now we'll just leave this. Then we already seen this before, locations. Now this time we don't have to select something specific in Pune, because we can ship it all over Pune, right? So we can just select Pune as a whole, because last time we were only selling memberships. So we were careful about only selecting the area around Deccan Gymkhana where our gym is based. But this time we can ship the products anywhere in Pune, right? So and this ad set is about Pune, so we're only going to select Pune. And of course, let's say if I was not interested in split testing and I just wanted to create one ad set, then I can add Mumbai and Bangalore also here, or whichever cities I want. Or if I ship to all over India, then I can just leave it at India also. But it's always better to split test, so you know which ad and which area is performing better. You can create multiple ad sets for different things also, maybe for different age groups. So let's say you run for Mumbai, Pune and Bangalore, then you find out that the Pune ad is doing the best, but maybe in this ad set we had left it to 18 to 65. Then what we can do is we can further drill down. So we can create multiple ad sets only for age. So we'll select this as Pune, but when it comes to age, maybe we can have one ad set as 18 to 30. We can have 30 to 40, 40 to 50. So those 3 ad sets then will help us determine which age within Pune is doing the best. So you can actually absolutely zero down to exactly what is performing for you, right? So this time, let's just keep it simple. We're going to keep our normal age group of 25 to 45, because this is where, especially this time, it's important, because if someone has to make an online purchase, usually people below 25 years, they don't have access to credit cards, debit cards. So it's better to just choose a slightly working image, people who are working. We're going to leave this to both. We are selling our products to both men and women. Language is okay. Now detailed targeting, this time again, we can select, since we are selling fitness products, we're assuming that, let's say I can select physical fitness, just like we had done for our memberships. But this time, let's also show you something else. So there's another category through which, one is you can type in and Facebook suggests automatically what something close to what you're typing in. Also, if you click on this browse window, this browse button, you get different demographics like education. You can select people from their education, their work, their interests, You can select different kind of interests here. So like within fitness and wellness, I can find so many: bodybuilding, meditation, physical exercise, yoga. Then you also have this interesting option which says behaviors. So now this time, what we want to do is, yes, we want to show this ad to people who are interested in physical fitness, but since we are selling stuff online, we also want to show this to people who have a habit of buying online. Okay, so we want people who are interested in physical fitness as well as who are shoppers, who have, has been shown, and Facebook can track that also. So what I can do here is, if I go to this browse button, if I go to behaviors, under, we'll be able to find something like purchase behavior. Yeah, you can see it here. And under this, I can select this option called as engaged shoppers. And you can see the description here is that people who have clicked on the call to action button shop now in the past week. So Facebook tracks everything about you. If you're already clicking on shop now ads, ads which have a shop now button, it's going to put you under this category. So when I select this, basically I'm telling Facebook that the people should be engaged shoppers. But right now there's one mistake, which is that we have selected interest as physical fitness and we have selected purchase behavior as engaged shoppers, but these two are within the same window. Okay, now this is important. What this means is that right now I'm telling Facebook that show my ad to people who are living in Pune plus 25 miles, age 25 to 45, all this is fine. But right now I'm telling Facebook, when I do this, that either they can be interested in physical fitness or they can be engaged shoppers, which is not correct, right? Because right now it's an or situation, either this or this. Now what can happen is, let's say if someone is not interested in physical fitness, but they have shown a purchase behavior and they are engaged shoppers, but they're not interested in physical fitness. So even though they have a tendency to buy online, when they come to my shop, which is a fitness based shop, they probably won't buy the product because they're not interested in fitness. Remember, because this is or, because this is within the same window. So what I can do is, I can come here and I can click on this button which says narrow audience. And now here I can select, so you can see it says and must also match. Now here if I select engaged shoppers, the same option. Now what this means is, I'm telling Facebook the person should be interested in physical fitness and be an engaged shopper. So both the conditions have to be met, and then only should they be a part of my potential reach. And you can see that this brings your potential reach slightly less. So if I were to remove this, you can see we have 33 lakh people. But the moment I say tell Facebook that not only physical fitness, but they should also buy. So then of course those are going to be less people, right? So this goes down to 6 lakh 20 people, which is also a pretty big number, because a bigger number always doesn't mean a better number, because remember, these are people now who are interested in fitness products as well as have shown a tendency to buy. So these will be the perfect audience for us, and still we have 6 lakh 20 people to show our ad to. Absolutely the perfect audience, because we don't want to show our ad to someone who's not going to click on our ad. And this is something I'll be talking about in the analytics section, because the whole point is, if you get less clicks on your ad, that means if you show your ad to a non-relevant person or an irrelevant person, then what's going to happen is that Facebook will not like that ad, because it's not going to the right people, and it will actually increase the cost per click of your ad. But we're going to understand that later on in the analytics section. But right now, if you just see in the demographics, interest and behaviors part, there are a lot of other things. Like for example, let's say if you're kind of selling gift e-commerce, or if you're running a gift e-commerce website and you want to sell something to anniversary related item for the people who are going to have their anniversary in some days from now, you can target them. You can see you've got options like this, and Facebook knows all this data about the different people on Facebook, because they keep updating on their profile that I'm married or I'm single. So Facebook knows everything about you. Okay, most of these things. And it's almost kind of scary also. And you can see there are a lot of different options here. Let's say, one of the other popular things is, let's say if you're running some sort of a traveling company and you want to target people who travel often. So because you keep checking in, on Facebook, and you show where you're traveling to, Facebook also has that data about you. So Facebook knows what type of people are frequent travelers. So you can even select those options here. And, this will be great if you have some sort of a traveling agency or any thing related to a product or service related to traveling. So you can see like you just have a lot of options that you can go through and experiment within this interests and behaviors part here inside Facebook. Now if you just continue, and if you just take a look on the right side, you can also see that Facebook is showing us that with these selections that we've made, now our reach is this much and we can expect these many conversions. Now this always isn't very accurate in my opinion. Just for estimation purposes you can see this, but let's move forward with the placements part now. So placements, you can again, just as a beginner, you can leave it to automatic placements. Facebook it'll place your ad all over, but ultimately it starts to show your ad more on places where it's performing well. So as a beginner, I would suggest just let it be on automatic placements. Optimization for ad delivery. Last time we have landing page views because we had selected a traffic ad. This time we get something called as conversions. So basically what happens is when you run this ad, and remember our conversion pixel is on this page, this particular conversion. So if this starts to trigger, that means we start to get sales. Let's say after we get around 100 sales, 50 sales, what Facebook's algorithm is intelligent enough to figure out, let's say if you got 100 sales and 100 times that conversion has been triggered, Facebook can say that, okay, out of these 100 people, what is the similarity between these people? And then once it finds that similarity, it starts to show your future ads more to those type of people who have already converted. So that way, it just starts to optimize your ad for conversions. So initially, this is not going to have a big impact because you don't have any conversions right now. But once you start to get sales and you start to you start to trigger your pixel or your conversion, Facebook slowly becomes very intelligent and it starts to show your ad even to more precise audience who is based around the kind of people who are buying from you. So you can leave this at conversions, no problem at all. Budget and schedule, let's say this time we go to 1,000 rupees per day. And you can see now this has increased because I increased the money. So it's going to reach around 2,000 to 5,000 people per day. Rest of the thing you can just leave as it is. We're going to click on continue. Now I have to select the right page here. This is where the copy of the ad is. So I'm going to select my fitness fire passion page. It doesn't have an Instagram account, otherwise I can select it from here. We're again going to use single image or video. We have images. Videos, if you have a video, you can also upload a video. Nowadays, very popular, but it's just going to take too much time. So I'm just going to select image. And this time we'll go to our free stock images option. And this time we'll type something like fitness products, because remember this time we are doing it for our products. Of course, the image is important. So it should be relevant to the product that you're selling, because ultimately people are going to see that ad. And when they click on it, they're hoping that what they saw in the image is what your shop on your website has. But let's say suppose we're selling these bottles on our website. So we can select up to 6 images wherever bottles have come. Maybe these 6. You're going to click on continue. And I think this is good. So you can see this is how our ad is looking on different platforms. This is on the news feed. This is on the mobile feed. You can see here, this is our second ad. This is our third ad. So you can see we're getting a nice preview. This is already starting to look nice. Now let's put a nice headline. Before the headline is going to ask us to put in the website URL, just like the traffic ad. So that is going to be this page where we want to send them to the shop. So we're going to put this, enter a nice headline here. Right now I'm just going to type in anything generic, like buy fitness products online, but of course make it as tempting as possible, as relevant as possible to what your ad is about. I'm going to type buy fitness products online in Pune. That's fine. And this text is the stop text. For now, I'm just going to type again something very generic. Pune's first online shopping, let's say website. Of course, I know that's terrible, but just giving you an example. Of course, whatever you write here also has to be relevant and catchy, but basically this is how your ad is going to go and is going to look like. And when it finally goes out, whom is it going to go out to? People who are living in Pune, people who are between 25 to 45, both men and women, more importantly, people who have shown interest in fitness as well as who are engaged shoppers. So there's a good chance that then when this ad goes to, you will definitely start to make sales and our conversions will start to get triggered. And we'll come to know also that which of these 6 ads is performing better, because now this is a conversion ad. So we can even monitor which of the 6 images are doing well. So let me show you how that is going to look like. So once I click on confirm, I don't think it'll let me make the ad completely because we don't have a Facebook pixel, and on a conversion ad, so you can see it's still showing in draft here. So if I go on to campaigns here, right now you can see online products is what we created. It's showing in draft. If I actually had a Facebook pixel, which we would have installed here, then this would have said in review. That means it would have already reached the Facebook people for a review and they would approve it, and then this ad would have started running. But right now it's showing me in draft, and you can see that your items weren't published because they had errors, and the error that they're actually talking about is that we don't have a Facebook pixel. But that's okay, just for understanding, that's fine. But through this, I just wanted to show you the hierarchy also. So this is where you'll see all the campaigns that you have. So for example, online products or other campaigns can be memberships, and also you know where to click when you're checking a campaign. So let's say I want to check the campaign for online products, the one that we just created. So I click on this, and when you do that, you access the ad set. So the next level here is ad set, and ad set is more about targeting. So remember, we chose our ad set as Pune. And within the ad set, if I click, are going to be those 6 ads. That means those 6 images here. And what's going to happen is ultimately, so this is how the hierarchy looks, campaigns, ad sets, and your ads are basically the images that you took, because each image is going to perform differently. And what's going to happen is once your ad actually starts to run, you'll start to get numbers here, like what was the reach of the ad, what was, how many people, let's say if I just select performance and clicks from here, what was going to happen is it's going to show you everything. How many people did click on your ad, and out of the people who clicked on the ad, how many people actually turned into your conversion. So this results column is the conversion that we've just made and whether that is converting. So we already have put that on our website through the pixel, like I've shown you before. So you can kind of come to know from when your ad is going out, yes, people are seeing it, they're clicking on it, but are they finally also converting? So which of these ads, which of these images are performing well, and the ones that don't perform well, you can just switch off that ad so that you don't lose any money, because ads that are not performing well will cost you more, as you're about to learn later on in the analytics section. Also, you can open up this ad like this and you can kind of see the preview of the ad, so that you come to know, okay, this is the ad I made and this is how exactly it'll look when it goes out to that target audience that you selected within the ad. And of course, in reality, you just have to make sure that your copy is good and that whatever ad you're making is relevant to the product or the landing page that you've made, to which the ad is taking your visitor or your ad clicker to your audience too. Okay, so all that has to be relevant here. All right, so that's about it for the conversion ad. It's a very important type of ad. And from the next video onwards, we're also going to be looking at another type of ad called as a boost post. So I'll see you there. Hello there, welcome back. Now you have learned how to create the all-important conversion ad. Now there's just one more type of an ad that you should know about, and which is very easy as compared to whatever you've been learning till now. This type of an ad that we'll be learning in this video is the boost post ad. So if you just come down here when you're on your page, so this time I'm showing you Creative Pad Media page, because we'll be able to see these metrics which are not available in our fake business page. Under every post, whenever you make a post on your Facebook page, just like we did earlier when we created our page, so you just, either you put a photo or you just, make a normal status update on your page. Every time, like I've already shown you when we were talking about the organic versus inorganic approach, I already showed you that it reaches certain number of people, your post on your page, but it doesn't reach all the likes on your page, all the people who have liked on the page. That's because that's how Facebook algorithm works, that your reach is very less as compared to the amount of people who have liked your page. So on its own, just like that, when you post, it's 100% never going to be it's never going to reach to all the people. But if you press this boost post button, then what happens is, let's say this was a very important post for me and I really want this to be seen by a lot of people. So I just posted this in the morning today, and till now it has reached 408 people. But let's say that this is a very important post. Maybe I'm announcing a new product or a new service. Of course, in this case, I'm not doing that, but I'm just giving you an example, because usually boost post is used mostly on posts which are very important. Because ultimately you'll be spending money. So let's say I was announcing a new course, maybe a new product, a new service, or there's just an announcement which is very, very important, well, then in that case, I would like this number to be higher. And since I know that organically this is not reaching high, I have to click on this button, and then this little window pops up. So this is kind of similar to our ads making dashboard that we've been seeing, but this is just very simple. It just all happens on your page on this pop-up. So you have a couple of options here. So you can see that what results would you like to derive from this post. So one is send people to your website, or get more people to react, comment, and share. So you can go for engagement also if you just want. So you have two options. One is that once we boost this post, it'll just turn like an ad if we select this website. So we'll have to give a link to wherever we want the person to go after they click on the post. Or the second option you have is just like every post has comments, shares, likes. So you can, if you choose this option, then Facebook will kind of target more of those people who are likely to comment, share, and react to your post. So you have two choices. One is you can use it for traffic, or the second choice is you can use it for engagement on your post. So let's say if we use it for traffic, then you can choose a button, just like we had a call to action button when we made our other ads. So let's say I can select learn more. And then wherever you want the people to be directed to, so you can see now under this post, there's a learn more button that is going to be shown. And whatever you put here on this URL, this is going to be your landing page. So the process remains exactly the same. So you can see choose a link for this button. So once someone clicks on this button here, they will directly go onto your landing page, whichever URL you want to promote, whichever is your landing page. And then you kind of get something similar. You can see under audience, whom do you want to target? So either we can select people who like our page. So this option is very popular because what happens is that this will make sure that your boosted post is only shown to people who like the page. And then you have within that, you have the criteria. So if I just click on edit here, you can see here, I can even modify this, whatever changes I make to the location here, they are all basically going to just work for people who have liked your page, because this is the main condition, that they should have liked our page. And within that, we can choose a subset. So if I'm selling something, for example, I can kind of change the age and all these things. So usually here it will show you an option to, let's say I can change the location, maybe people who have liked my page, but not in Maharashtra, all over India. So not just one state, all over India. And I can kind of save this, or I can also, select this first option, people you choose through targeting. So they don't necessarily have had to like your page, but in that case, you can choose a lot of things. You can, just like a normal ad, just like we created a normal ad, you can select the age, you can select the gender. It doesn't give you too many options, but it gives you location, gender, age, and our interest. So again, I can select photography. But then this time, it may not go to people who have liked my page already. So this may go to people who have not liked my page also. So this is just going to be a normal ad. So if you select this option, the first one, people you choose through targeting, is just going to be like a normal ad. It's just that this is a post on your page, which is turning into an ad. I usually go for this option when I'm boosting my post, which is people who have liked your page, because what happens is one of the strongest points of boosting posts is that they are very, very cheap. That means, just from the next section onwards, we're going to be seeing something in the analytics section. We're going to be talking about a metric called as cost per click. So every time you run an ad, there's a cost involved to it. And the cost per click for boost post ads, when you show them to people who have already liked your page, is very less. Like it goes very, very cheap. And you'll just be paying a couple of cents, most of the time. So I usually let it be here. People who liked your page, because these people are likely to interact with your page, with your post more, since they have already liked your page. So they've already communicated to you that they are interested in your business. It's just that you are artificially increasing your reach of this post by going to them. Then you have some other options also. We'll be looking at custom audiences in a separate section later on towards the ending of this course. And yeah, that's about it. You have automatic placements. You can just leave that on. That's not a problem. Then is your budget. So you can choose for how much money you want to spend and for how many days you want to spend. So this is going to get divided by this, and that will be your daily budget that you'll be spending on boosting posts. So I usually, a lot of times I boost posts for like 100 rupees a day. So that's the advantage of boosting posts, because your cost is less. Your cost per click is going to be really less for a boost post. So you can have a lesser budget also as compared to the normal ad that we made. So normal ads, because the cost per click is definitely going to be higher than a boost post ad, you also have to have a slightly higher budget for those ads. But that's the great part about boosting posts, that with a very less budget, sometimes I even use this rupees 40 per day, which is really nothing, and it still goes out to a lot of people. So you can see, so even at 40, estimated number of people reached, I'm not sure if this is per day, but here you'll kind of get an idea of how many people, extra people, this post is going to reach to if you put in this much amount of money. I think this is per day. So per day, you're going to reach these many people extra, and that is a lot of people. So it's very, very cheap, very good to use. I'm just going to show you at the end of it. You can also do it for just one day. So I can have, I can even take this. A lot of times I just run this for a day, and I usually leave this at 100 rupees. So even this is something you can do. Then this is the amount that you'll be spending, your budget plus GST. So one thing I should tell you is that whenever you spend money on Facebook, it's gonna later on it adds the GST tax to it, and you're gonna pay the total figure. So just remember that, because when you start spending a lot of money, this figure does go slightly high. So you have to take that into your budget and planning. Then your account, and that's it. And then you just click on Boost Post. And once you go onto your dashboard, so for example, if I just click here on Boost Post, this is going to ask for my GST number. I don't have a GST number, so I'm just going to click on continue, and that's it. Once you do this, this ad is ready. So Boost Post ads are very, very easy to create, very quick to create, and they can be really, really effective to increase the artificial or the reach of your page when you're finding it's not reaching to many people, and it's an important post on your page that you would like. And you can check the performance of this post either from here. So right here, it shows you how many people it has reached, how much does it cost, or you can go back to your ads dashboard where we saw all the campaigns. It reflects the same boosted post will show there as an ad also, just like the other campaigns and the ads. So if I open up my ad account, you can see it right here. You can see this is the post. Post is a great wildlife shot. So this, we're talking about the same post. The caption comes here. In the campaign name, whatever caption you had on your post, that is going to reflect here, so that you can come to know which post is it talking about. And you can see it's in review right now. But once it goes approved, it's just going to be like any of these ads. You'll start seeing the same numbers, and that's how Boost Posts work. And it's very, very cheap and effective tool to use in your arsenal. All right, so I hope that you like this video. From the next video onwards, it's going to be analytics. So I'm going to see you there. Bye for now. All right, so in the last section, you learn about conversion ads, you learn about Facebook Pixel, you learn about how to create a conversion, and I'm sure that now you're beginning to understand the power that Facebook advertising holds. And that's not all. In this section, which is dedicated to learning about analytics and measurement, we're going to be talking about some important metrics which will help you analyze your ads. So till now, we've just run our ads. We've created different sorts of ads like Boost Post, conversion ads, traffic ads, but just creating is only the starting part of Facebook advertising. Once your ads are approved by Facebook and they go live, one of the most important elements is analyzing the metrics that you're seeing, the numbers that you will see on your dashboard, because that is ultimately what will help you understand which ad is performing for you and which ad is not. And whichever ad is performing, we just keep those ads running, and whichever ads are not performing, we shut them down so that we do not waste any of our money and that everything is very efficient. So in this section, we'll be talking about the important metrics like cost, click-through rate, cost per click, reach, impressions, everything in a very simple to understand manner. So I'm very excited. Let's go inside the section. See you there. All right, welcome back to the course. Now is the part where we'll be learning about how to analyze your Facebook ads. So in the previous videos, we learned about how to create your Facebook ads, and we saw that there are mainly two types of ads which will be very helpful for you, especially as a beginner, which are your conversion ads and the Boost Post ads. That's where the serious marketing takes place. So conversion was we already learned that the conversion ads are, probably the best ads to use because they help you monitor the results that you're aiming for. But that is just one part. That is just one analytic or the one metric that you're supposed to be careful about. But there are also a lot of other metrics associated with your ads, which will just help you determine which ad is good and which ad should be turned off, because that is very important, because you don't want to waste any money on running an ad which is not yielding the results that you want. So what I'm going to do is, like I told you earlier on, we did not run those ads that we made in this course because it was for a fake business, so it won't make any sense. So when it comes to the analytics section, we need numbers like these, the ones that you can see here, and they're only possible for ads that I've actually run. So right now, the campaigns that you're looking at here are my actual campaigns for my business, Creative Pad Media, and you can see that I have loads of them because I've been doing this for very, very long. But what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you one campaign which was pretty successful for me, which was for our photography video course. So I'm just going to type here in the search bar, I'm just going to type photography video, and you can see this particular campaign. So right now you're not seeing any numbers here. That's because there's a date range here, and this says this month. So right now Facebook is showing me the data for these ads for this particular month. Now this was a campaign which I ran almost an year back. So I'll either have to exactly select the date, or I can just click on this. So you have a lot of options. You can check the performance today, yesterday, last 7 days, last month. So all this is very helpful when you're running your current ads. But right now we have to see the data of a past ad. So I'm just going to click on lifetime. So it's going to show me all the statistics involved with this campaign for its whole life. So you can see all these numbers come up, and soon we'll be seeing what these metrics really mean and which are the important ones to go for. Now, one thing before we start is that you have this option which says columns, and by default it's selected to the first column default, which is performance, and I don't really like this too much. A good one, when you get more advanced, you'll have to customize columns. So for example, I have this customized column which is called Creative Pad Dashboard, CP Dashboard, which is just customized to my liking. So all the metrics that are important to us are here in one go. But right now, don't worry about that. There is a default one which is called performance and clicks, and this is slightly better than performance because it just shows you more data. So you can click on this one before we start analyzing our data. So you can see there's some change in the columns, and we are getting those numbers. So let's now start to see what these numbers mean. So this is the campaign name. You can see the objective was to sell the photography video course. I'm going to click on this, and if you've guessed it right, what you're going to see right now are the ad sets. So remember, ad sets are something that differentiate between themselves. Maybe some variable has been changed. For example, I'm not too good at naming my ad sets, but you can just kind of figure out. For example, this ad set is called abroad interest based. That means I must have selected an interest, and the location was for people outside of India, so I just named it abroad. Similarly, there are all some changes. Mainly the changes I was making between these ad sets was the images. So I was changing the copies of the ads. I was trying a lot of different types of images, and that's why I had a lot of ad sets here. Maybe some changes in targeting also, but mainly you can see that out of all these ad sets, the one that yielded the maximum results is this one, which is default placements lookalike video. So later on you'll be learning about what a lookalike audience is. I'm going to talk about this slightly later on, but basically this is an ad set in which this happened to resonate the best with the target audience that I was doing it for. The image was good, everything was good, and it yielded me 361 sales. And you can see here the name of the conversion is purchase DSLR video course. So just like we made a conversion in the earlier part where, if you remember, we use the thank you page URL. So similarly, I've just done the same thing. When someone went over to the thank you page for my particular course, this conversion fired, which is purchase DSLR video course. So you can see that this ad set resulted in the maximum number of sales out of all these. So if I just click on this ad set, you're going to see the different ads. So I used 4 images instead of 6. So you can do that also. You don't always have to use 6 images. So I used 4, and out of these 4 ads, that means when I say ads, I'm talking about the different images that I used. The one which worked the best was this one, which gave me all the 361 sales, which was, if I just click on this and if I just show you the preview of my ad, this is how my ad looked. And this particular image with a man holding the camera in this landscape scenario worked the best for me. And you can see the headline, the image, the text that I wrote here, and this was what worked for me. So you can see that all these are switched off and this one is on, but that does not matter because I've already switched off the campaign. So even if your ad is on but your campaign is off like this, everything's going to be off within it also. So I switched off this campaign after some time. But again, let's go back to that particular ad to just start to understand what these numbers are. So the first column that you're seeing is the results column, even though it doesn't show the word results here, but it's still the same thing. There are some changes I've made here, but that's okay. It still means the results column. So you can see this is self-explanatory that these were the number of triggered events or the sales that I got from this ad. But let's start to go into these numbers because they are also very important when you're starting out an ad. And we're not going to cover everything because some of them are self-explanatory. For example, the amount I've spent on this is 1,84,851. So this is easy to understand, but let's start with some of the terms here. So reach means how many people did your ad basically reach to. That means how many people saw this ad. Okay, and there's another number which is pretty similar to reach, which is called impressions. So impressions, you can see, are much more than our reach, but they are very similar. So what reach means is how many individual people saw it, I mean, how many unique people saw this particular ad, and impressions means how many times did they see that. So for example, I can see this ad, that will count as one reach. But if I happen to see this ad again and again and again, let's say I saw this ad, I keep logging into Facebook, and in 7 days I saw this ad 5 times. So my reach will remain 1 only because this is me, the unique session that we're talking about, but my impressions will be counted as 5. So you can say reach is, impressions is reach into the number of times a person saw. So impressions is usually always going to be more than reach, but basically both the numbers just mean how many times your ads have been seen by the target audience that you selected when you were creating your ad. Then the next important number, you can skip most of these as a beginner, they're not really important, is of course the number of clicks that you're getting. This is going to be one of the criteria which will help you determine which ad is doing well for you. So you can see I got a lot of clicks here from these other ads also, and you can see for the other ads also they reached around 3,726 impressions, 3,000 odd, again 3,000 odd. But the reason I stopped these ads was because after these many impressions also, you can see here that they did not result in any sale, whereas this started resulting in some sales. So I switched these off and I switched this one on. So you got to give it some time. There's no particular set of reach or impressions that you should target, but at least give it some time. You don't switch off an ad just after seeing 100 impressions because you never know. An ad can also pick up later on and do a much better than the other ad. So I usually give it a decent amount of impressions, like 3,000, 4,000, at least give it 1,000 reach for sure. So let it go for 1,000 reach so that you can kind of say, okay, fine, this ad is actually not working. So clicks is one thing which will help you understand. And another metric which is very similar to clicks is CTR. CTR stands for click through rate, and this is very easy to just understand by looking at this. So what this basically means is, if I just open up this drawing board here, so one is that we have got clicks. Okay, this is pretty easy to understand, and now we have click through, I do apologize for the terrible handwriting, click through rate, which is your CTR, which basically means the rate at which you're getting the clicks, and this is usually calculated like, and now we have click through, I do apologize for the terrible handwriting, click through rate, which is your CTR, which basically means the rate at which you're getting the clicks, and this is usually calculated like the number of clicks that you're getting upon the number of impressions into 100. So let's say if your ad was shown 100 times and 5 people clicked on it, well, then that means you get a click-through rate of 5%. Now, when it comes to the click-through rate, Usually, when we used to start out Facebook advertising, the minimum most acceptable click-through rate used to be 0.1%. That means even if 1 out of 1,000 people see your ad, click on your ad, sorry, even if you out of 1,000 impressions, even if you get one click, that used to be considered the minimum most acceptable. Let's say even after 1,000 impressions, you're getting 0 clicks. Well then, so basically anything up below 0.01 was definitely a red flag. That means you need to stop that ad. It's not getting you the clicks, because remember, if you don't get the clicks, you don't get the traffic onto your website, so there's no chance of making a sale, right? So that's why this is a very important metric. And nowadays, to be frank, I would not even say 0.1%. Definitely go for something higher. So you can see here, if I go back here, most of my ads are doing well. They pretty much have a similar click-through rate, but click-through rate is not, absolutely the most vital thing, because you can actually see this ad has a lesser click-through rate, but it resulted in more sales. But having said that, it's a very important metric, especially to stop an ad. So if you know that your click-through rate is like 0.05% and a lot of impressions have already happened, then immediately stop that ad. Absolutely do not run that ad. And the reason for that is, if your ad is not getting too many clicks, first of all, you don't have a chance to make a sale. Second of all, how Facebook works, and this is a very important point, so do listen carefully, how Facebook works, and in fact how most of the online advertising platforms like Google AdWords and the other things, they work is that if your click-through rate is good, that means if this is a big number, that means you're getting a lot of clicks on your ad, the next metric comes into play, which is cost per click, CPC. And how it works in these platforms is, if you're getting a good CTR, that means you're getting a lot of clicks, the platform, for example, in this case, Facebook, rewards you for making a good ad, and the reward is that it reduces your cost per click. Remember how this works? Anytime someone clicks on your ad, you're paying Facebook some money, right? For example, for this ad, I've been paying 6.78 rupees every time someone has clicked on my ad. Now, this does not stay constant. This is going to be proportional to how many clicks you're getting and basically how much CTR you're getting. If you're getting a high CTR, more clicks when compared to the impressions, a good amount of proportion, Facebook will say, okay, you're getting more clicks. That means you have been very good when it comes to selecting your target audience when you were creating your ad. That's why you're getting more clicks. So that means the people on Facebook who are seeing this ad are happy with your ad. So therefore, let us reward you and let us decrease the cost per click. And unfortunately, the opposite is also true. If your CTR is less, that means you're getting less clicks when compared to the impressions that you're getting. Facebook is thinking, oh, this is not a good ad, because this advertiser has not done a good job in selecting, the target audience, and the people who are seeing this ad are getting annoyed. They're not clicking on this ad. They want this bad looking image to go away from Facebook. See, for Facebook, the most important thing is not you, the advertiser. For Facebook, they have their own business, which are the people who register their accounts and who see these ads. Now, Facebook does not want them to have a bad experience when they are seeing something on Facebook. So if they start to see a poor ad, which was created by an advertiser who did not do their targeting job well, they're not going to get clicks. So Facebook will say, okay, this is a bad ad. We don't want this on Facebook anymore, but they cannot really tell you that, okay, stop this ad. So it's an indirect way. What they'll do is they'll just increase your cost per click. So bad ad which does not get a high CTR, you'll often find that the CPC goes really high, and so this could have been 60 rupees, 70 rupees a click, and eventually the advertiser will shut that ad, because of course they will go into a loss if they continue that. But the opposite is also true. That means if you have a good CTR, this can keep going lower, lower, lower. That's why when you're creating your ad, it's very important that you get your targeting right. It's very important that you get your image right. Everything has to be right so that you get good amount of clicks, so that your cost of running this ad goes down. Because remember, what is business? Business is X minus Y, your earnings minus your costs. If this is high, this is going to impact your profit. So getting your ad correct is very important, because if your ad is good, your CTR goes high and your CPC goes down. This means that there's more chance of earning X, that means sales, because more people are now clicking on your ad, going on your website, and this means your cost is less. So more sales minus less cost equals good profit. But if you let a bad ad running, your cost is going to go high, clicks are going to be less, the opposite is going to be the case, and your profit will suffer, and you'll probably suffer a loss. So these figures just quickly help you determine how your ad is doing. Even because, see, it can happen that maybe initially when you just start out your ads, you first of all may not be running conversion ads because you have to do all the pixels and all the things. So if you're just doing things to get warmed up, and let's say you're using traffic ads, then this first figure does not come into play, which is the amount of conversions. So how will you figure out which ad is doing well? Well, these three particular things will help you: the clicks, the CTR, and so clicks and CTR is almost the same thing, but your CPC and CTR will help you determine which ad should you continue running in case you were not using conversion ads. Even if you're using conversion ads, it may not happen that you initially start getting a lot of conversions or sales. So initially, just to judge which ad is doing well, these metrics really help you. And usually how it works on Facebook is, if an ad is doing well, my experience has been that all the numbers work together. So if you have an ad which has a good CTR, has a good amount of clicks, has a less CPC, usually that ad is going to be the one which gives you the most sales. So usually it's pretty straightforward. It's not a very complex situation, but these numbers, understanding these metrics, just give you an idea at least about the potentiality of an ad. You can never guess, because see, it can also happen that everything can be right here, but ultimately doesn't result in sales. And maybe there was another ad in which the numbers were not so great, but it results in sales. In that case, of course, you will still run the other ad, because ultimately, when it comes down to conversions, this is the master metric. You cannot mess around with this. You can have the highest CTR, lowest CPC, but if you're not making any sales, it doesn't make any sense to continue that ad, right? But usually that's not going to happen. The ad which has the winning metrics will also have the winning metric in the conversions. So it's really not that complex, but still there can be rare situations where the opposite is true. Maybe an underperforming ad actually gives you more sales. There you will have to take a business call. So it's usually not very straightforward in all situations. Mostly I can tell you that a winning ad is winning everywhere, right? So these was just some very basic metrics that I wanted to discuss with you. I know there are a lot of other metrics like frequency and cost per result, but you know, they're right. Trust me, they're not really important right now. If you just get a hang of these few 4-5 metrics that we discussed, this is more than enough to start out. Now, this was about analytics, looking at this dashboard. Now, in the next video, we're also going to be talking about another type of analytics, which is that once your ads have run for some time, Facebook gathers the data of the kind of people who are converting, who are clicking on your ad, and you can narrow down and get that exact data. For example, let's say if you made an ad and you had selected the age range as, let me just erase this. So let's say if the age range that you selected was 18 to 65, and you ran this ad for, let's say, a long time, maybe a week, and you got 10 sales from your ad. Maybe you got, let's say 500 clicks on the ad. So another thing that you can do once you've run an ad for quite some time, let's say a week or a month, is, and we're going to look at this in the next video, which is that Facebook will give you the data of these people. What are the people who are converting? What are the people who are actually clicking? Because not everyone within this age group might be clicking. So when we look at this data, you can get data like, okay, the people between 28 to 35 are the ones who resulted in the maximum sales. So then what you can do is you can go back to your campaign, you can open up your ad set, and you can actually edit the ad, and you can, instead of 18 to 65, now you can make it something like 28 to 35, something like this. Now what's going to happen when you do this is it's going to improve your ads performance. Why? Because you know that's where the maximum clicks are coming from, that's where the maximum sales are coming from. So why waste and show it to people who are not clicking on your ad. Because remember, doing that will decrease your CTR, which will do what? Increase your CPC, and then it's not going to be a very good ad. So we're going to be looking at this analytics data also in the next video, because this can be helpful. And then I'll be showing you how you can just edit your ad by looking at the data. And not only for age, it's going to show us a lot of data like the cities, the devices that your people are using who are converting and clicking, and a lot of other stuff. So I'll see you in that video. Bye for now. Hello there, welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be looking at this breakdown data, which, like I already told you, which will just help you understand your your target audience better, the kind of people that are clicking and purchasing from you, what exactly are they, what is their age, what are the demographics, all these things you will be able to understand, so that later on you can edit your ad and even make your targeting more precise. So how we're going to do that is, so we are still on the same window where we were looking at the ads here. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go here and select ad sets. And this was the ad set that we had opened, in which all our 4 images were there. So you can see here the 361 sales. And what I'm going to do now is that once we see this ad set window, you can also see it in the ads window, but it just is okay if you see it in the ad set window also. So I'm just going to go down here to this breakdown button, and here you'll get a lot of options. So it looks something like this. So you can break down this data by time, which is not too important, not right now, but this is very important. That means by delivery. So you'll understand when I open this up, it's going to give you a lot of options. And if I just, for example, if I just click on age, what you'll find is that all these ad sets, they basically open up, and Facebook is telling you that out of the age that you had selected. So let's go to our ad set first, which was this one, 361 sales, default placements. Now you can see here, when I was creating this ad set, I had chosen the age as the whole age range that I chose was 18 to 54. Because that time I thought that maybe, I should not miss out on anyone, but that was a wrong thing to do on my part. Because if you see, when I break down this data, you can see that the maximum number of conversions here have come from the age group of 25 to 44. So 163 people from 25 to 34 and 179 people from 35 to 44. So it did not really help me when I selected this 18 to 24 and 45 to 54, because I had selected 18 to 54. So these first, the initial, part here and this ending age group did not really help me, because what the problem with this is, you can see that this age group has accounted for, these many impressions, but really did not get me those many results. So this would have impacted my CTR in some way also, because if I go here, I would not have got as many clicks here. So if you just go here, you can see here, in this age group, I could just get 809 clicks. So you can see here the CTR is also slightly lower, but it doesn't have to be true. For example, for this age group, the CTR was actually high, but then again, like I said, the main metric to look out for is the sales, and the sales were just not happening for 18 to 24 and 45 to 54. So then what I did was that I simply went and clicked on this edit button. I'm just going to show you also how I did this once we go through some more metrics here, and then I can just change in my ad. I can always make the changes. So I just shifted this later on to 25 to 44 for another ad that I had made. So I created a new ad set later on. If you see here, it says the name of the ad set says breakdown applied, and this time if you see, the age groups that we had was 25 to 44. So I created another ad set with all the data that I got from this ad set. Now it didn't really work for me. That's not it's not because it was not good. It's just that at that particular time I just stopped all my ads, because we went on a different strategy that time. So I did not really spend too much money on this, but you'll start to understand things now. So one is you can break it down by age. Now let's say you can also break it down by gender, so you can come to know whether, because I had selected for this ad set, I had selected both males and females. So you can see here that females have resulted in less sales and males have resulted in more sales. So what I can do again is, when I'm editing that ad, I can remember, we can select either gender. So for me, it would make more sense if I deselect female and just select male, because that's where most of my conversions are coming in, and the same pattern is going to follow, that you're going to get more clicks, more of everything there. So you can see here, if we go to our clicks, so you can see here the clicks are very less in female, and in male the clicks are more, the CTR is more, and all these things. So, but mainly I'm concentrating on the sales, and this is way higher for the male. So another change I can make is change the age group first and make it only male. So what happens is, now I'm getting more and more precise towards the people who are actually giving me results, and this is going to improve your overall ad. So either you can edit all this here in the same ad by clicking on this edit button, the same ad set, or you can, like I said, you can create another ad set. That's always probably a better strategy. Create another ad set like this, put in all that data, and then compare, run both the ad sets and see whether doing that really made a difference. Because sometimes it's not very logical in Facebook that I can apply, yes, everything from here, but it may not actually work. So most of the time it works, but I'm just saying that it's better to split test things. Then let's say you have a lot of other things. You can combine age and gender together and see business locations. So for example, if I type this, if I click on this, not this, but we can, if you had selected multiple countries, you can see which country is doing well. Maybe let me try a region. So you can see here, I had selected, when I was running this ad, I was, let's go down to our ad, which is this one. Default placement. Sometimes there are too many provinces, so it's just gonna think this. Whoops. Where did my ad set go? Okay, I'm just gonna close these down again. Okay, I'm just gonna remove this for a while, and so I can click on remove all breakdowns. Okay, so when I click on regions, basically I think it's opening too many of the regions, but let me just give you what that it means. So it's just going to show you the different regions from where you're getting the data. And so you can come to even know, okay, that if you've selected the whole of India in your ad set, what can happen is that you may want to know which are the cities or the regions which are actually performing well for your ad. So I'm not able to find my ad set because there's just so many regions in India. But let's say, I'm not able to find the default placements ad set because that's where the numbers were there. But let's say if the numbers are there and I find that maybe Maharashtra is giving me the maximum number of sales, then what I can do is, let's say if this was overwhelmingly more than the other states, then it would make sense to change and go and edit my ad set, and instead of India, maybe I can only select Maharashtra because that's where I know that maximum of my sales are coming from. So I'm not wasting my clicks and money on other states, right? So that's another way to see. Then you can also see which platform is your majority of your sales are coming from. So for example, here you can see, remember when we were creating our ad, we had selected automatic placements. That means Facebook will try to show your ad on different types of placements, on the right columns, on your news feeds. If you have an Instagram account, it's going to show it there also. So you can see here that mainly when it comes to Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, Audience Network, all these things, mainly Facebook versus Instagram, you can see that the same ad is doing better on Facebook than it is doing on Instagram. But if it was the opposite, let's say we only find that majority of the sales are coming from Instagram, then we can always go and edit our ad and only select the placement for Instagram. So basically we are just seeing and then optimizing our ad. Then you can see platform and device also. So you can see here, in this particular ad set, the majority of those 361 sales are coming from Facebook. That we already know because we saw that from the platform, but we did not see the device. So you can see here the device that is resulting in the maximum sales is the Android smartphone. So I'm just going to be showing you in a while how you can make all these changes in your ad set, but you can actually select even a particular device to be shown when you're making an ad. We did not see this when we were making that because that would be a slightly more advanced level, because initially you should leave it at all devices, and only when you see that something is working for you, then you can change it, just like I'm going to show you in a while from now. But be shown when you're making an ad. We did not see this when we were making that because that would be a slightly more advanced level, because initially you should leave it at all devices, and only when you see that something is working for you, then you can change it, just like I'm going to show you in a while from now. But basically, right now, don't worry about how you have to do something, because those are things that you can easily figure out. But the important thing here is just understanding this data, that now we know what is the kind of a person that is resulting in the maximum sales. So we saw that their age group is usually from 24 to 44. Let's just assume that we found out that they were living in Maharashtra, even though we did not really see that. But let's say we found out that the maximum sales are coming from the state of Maharashtra. So it's a person who's between 24 to 44, living in the state of Maharashtra, browsing their ad on Facebook and using a device which is a mobile phone, like an Android smartphone. So we can really zero in on the kind of, and of course there are males. Remember, we also saw that. So there are men who are doing it. So we can really zero in on the kind of person that is absolutely resulting in the maximum number of sales for us. And you can keep on going for that. So like placement, it's going to show you which of the placements are working the best for you. So we can again see, we already know Facebook is working well. We already know the mobile platform is working well. And you can see even amongst the Facebook placements. So for example, let me just show you. One area that you can see your ads is here in this particular area, which is called your newsfeed ad, the big looking ad. And you can also see these right column ads. So just like that, there are a lot of different types of placements. And by going through this, you can come to know, for example, let's see if we see Facebook right column. Facebook stories, news feed. So your ad can also show up in Facebook stories. I'm not sure if I had selected right column, maybe. Yeah, so you can see we also have Facebook right column. So this particular ad that has resulted in all these sales, at some point someone must have seen this ad here and gone on to purchase my course after clicking over on this ad. But you can see only one person has done that, as opposed to the news feed ad, which has resulted in 68 sales. So, and you can see the news feed on the mobile. So this is on the mobile app, but this is on the mobile. And you can see that this is giving us the maximum number of sales, not the right column ad. So you can switch off the right column ad also. And maybe let only the Facebook, the ad which is resulting in the maximum sale, keep running. And I'll be showing you how to edit all this, but let's go down through some of the more things. Maybe you can also see the time of the day. So you can kind of come to know at what time are you getting the maximum sales. So just show. Yeah, so I think the maximum sales are coming, I think 27 is the max. So let's say 5 to 6, but you can see here either the early morning is resulting in the maximum sales and the late evening. So probably the time to avoid running the ad is when you're doing it through when people are in the office, maybe during the afternoon time, maybe they don't get to browse Facebook that much. So you can see you can do all that also. You can also, if I close the delivery option, we have the last option says by action. Okay, this is not really too important. Conversion device and all. Most of the stuff here is going to be here, because you can come to know about the age, the gender, the country, the region, and the time of the day, the exact platform and the device that they're using. And this is mainly the data that is going to help you. So you can close this down, and then what you're going to do is, I'm going to click on remove all breakdown so that we get our ad set look back. Now that I have all this data, what I can do is, let's say I can open up a notepad, and I can, when I was seeing that data, I can keep on making notes. So the first thing that we saw was the age group was 24 to 45. So I can make a note of that. This is where, so we're basically making a note of where all did the maximum conversions or the sales come from. Then it was male. Then it was, we are assuming it was Maharashtra, straight, right? Then what was the other thing that we saw? It was the platform was Facebook. Within Facebook, the placement was newsfeed. So, an Android smartphone, right? What else did we see? Time of the day. So it was, let's say, around 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. let's say. Did we see anything else? Let me just go down through the big breakdowns once again. Age, gender, business locations, country, platform. I think that is enough. So then once I have this data with me, what I can do is I can either create a new ad set by, just like we've seen before, you can copy this ad set and then edit it. Or let's say I can edit it here also. So there are two options you have. If you want to split test things, then you'll have to copy it, change the name of the ad set, and then make the changes in it. But let's say if either way, you'll have to click on the edit button and something like this will open up, just like the dashboard that we're used to seeing when we create our ads. So here we'll go down now. And what we're going to do here is that, first of all, we're going to remove India and we're only going to put Maharashtra. Oops, I got the spelling wrong. Yeah. So now we're getting more precise towards what we know is working for us. Age group, instead, let's say if it was selecting to 18, so I'd already edited this, but if it was 18 to 65, I would change it to 24 to 45. I would change it to only men, because I know men are converting more for me. Then let's say we can go to edit placements. We know which placements are working for us, so we don't have to leave it to automatic placements. All devices, no. We know that mainly everyone is coming from mobile and not from desktop, so I can uncheck desktop. We know majority of the people are coming from Facebook and not Instagram, so I can, and none of the sales from Messenger also, if you remember. So I can deselect this. None were from audience network. I can deselect this. I can deselect Instagram also. So only let it be on Facebook. And within Facebook, remember we saw it was the news feed. So I can go here. I can only select news feed, remove marketplace, remove video feeds, remove stories, remove in-stream, everything. I know where my maximum sales are coming from. I don't want to waste my impressions. Remember, otherwise the CTR can go low. So this is, we are optimizing the ad now. And finally, the device, the exact device, I can select Android devices only, because remember, our maximum customers are coming from Android smartphones. So can you see how detailed you can actually get about your particular customer? Here also it gives you two options, and I can deselect this because I know it's exactly Android smartphones, not even Android tablets. So I can deselect this, and you can see that we are really able to go down into our, the mind of the customer that is resulting in a sale for us. Then create a new ad set, test it maybe with the original ad set. You never know, maybe you made all these changes, it looks good on paper, but maybe it doesn't really perform that well. So these things can happen, but at least you'll have a good shot of reaching down and creating a brand new ad set, which in all probability should be doing better, because ultimately you're doing this from the data that you've got. It's not a guessing game with Facebook. This is why Facebook advertising is so important. You can use all these analytics to absolutely zero down to your audience, and we've already seen also to the exact ad that is working for you. But this is only possible mainly when you're using the conversions ads. That's why conversion ads are very popular. So in this section, we had learned about analytics, and then also about the breakdown data, which helps you after your ad is run for some time. So I hope that you like this video. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye for now. All right, so I hope that you like the section on analytics, and in this new section that we're about to go to. Things are going to go to the next level because we're going to be learning about remarketing by creating custom audiences. So remarketing is a very vital part of any sort of marketing. Now, you must have often observed that when you are shopping for a product, let's say if you're shopping on Amazon and you don't end up buying that product, well, what happens after a while? You start seeing that same product everywhere you go, including your Facebook news feed, right? That happens because of the power of remarketing. And why is it very essential to market your product again and again to the consumer who has shown some intent of buying your product? Well, that's because a lot of people and most of the customers won't really buy your product when they see it for the first time. So when someone clicks on your ad, they go to your product, it's a good chance that they may not end up immediately buying. Some people will, the impulsive buyers, but not everyone will. So in marketing, we say that we need to expose our product again and again to the prospect, and that is the time, after some time, there's a much more likelihood of them actually buying their product. And this is where remarketing comes into play, and it shows its magic. And on Facebook, this is done through creating something called as a custom audience. So in this section, we're going to be looking at how to create a custom audience, how to create an ad and link it to our custom audience. But basically what all this is going to do is that it will help us expose our product that we're trying to sell or service again and again to the people who initially clicked on our first ad. Let's get into the section. Things will become more clear there. I'm going to see you inside the laptop. See you there. Hello there, welcome back to the course. Now, in this section onwards, we're moving towards the slightly more advanced stuff in Facebook marketing or advertising, and this is referred to as remarketing by creating custom audiences. So right now, I know that sounds a bit technical, and to be very honest, this is definitely a part which you initially, when you start off with Facebook advertising, you probably won't be going into, because this is definitely slightly more advanced. But what you're about to find out is the power of Facebook advertising really goes to the next level when we talk about remarketing and the capability to create custom audiences. And why is that the case? So first of all, let's try to understand what remarketing exactly is. So if I just go onto a site, like a popular site like Amazon, where we are used to shopping different kinds of things, and let's just say that I'm trying to buy something, and maybe let's say this mic or anything, right? So let's say I want to buy this mic, and I click on this and I start seeing all the features, I start seeing all the reviews that this mic has got, and then after some point, I think to myself, okay, this looks good, but I still want to find out more about it, or maybe I'm not completely ready to buy it. So what I do is that I don't really purchase this mic right now, but I've just shown the intent because I just want to keep this in the back of my mind. Okay, but right now I do not want to purchase this. And this happens a lot, right? This probably happens more than someone actually buying. So we always don't buy a product or a service immediately when we are shown the page. We can take our time. Some people, of course, like impulsive buyers, they can straight away buy, or a person who knows that, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for, can buy. But the chances that, because since we're talking about Facebook advertising, we know that we are pushing our ad to an audience that is interested in whatever we are selling, there's a good chance that they may not buy your product or service for the first time when they click on your ad. And let's say in our case, they come on your shop page. So this was the page that we were advertising for Fitness Fire Passion, if you remember, during our conversion ads. So it may happen that they may not purchase straight away, right? This is where remarketing comes in. So suppose I'm going and I saw the details and I came on this page. Oftentimes you must have seen that when you browse through a product but you don't buy it, what happens is when you later on, let's say later on in the day, suppose I close this page now and I decided not to buy it right now, maybe do some more research. And then sometimes you must have seen that when you come over to log into your Facebook account, and then later on in the day, you log into your Facebook account like this, and you're just casually browsing through your feed. And what you'll often find is that, you'll start to see an ad. So for example, this is an ad. And let's just assume that this ad is from the mic that we were browsing. So sometimes you must have seen that whatever you were shopping for, but if you did not buy that, you start seeing an ad by Amazon of the same product, right? So it's kind of reminding you, Amazon through its ad. Of course, this is not the same ad. This is I'm just giving you an example because there's a very less chance of me, of them remarketing that particular product to me, especially this fast. But assume that, this was the Amazon page and they were marketing that same mic. The image of the same mic is coming here. So that is remarketing in play. So what Amazon is trying to do when they do something like this is they're trying to tell me, listen, Kush, we know that you went onto that page, but you did not actually end up buying that mic. So why don't you just click on this ad again? And where do you think, when I click on this remarketing ad, if I click on it, where do you think I will go? Well, I will go back to this particular page. Right? So Amazon is trying to tell me, it's trying to remind me that, don't forget about this mic. You have shown intent. If you still want, you can still buy it, and it'll keep on showing me. So this is called remarketing, and the basis of remarketing is this. So now you know that remarketing means, you're basically being advertised that product or service that you browsed again and again. Now what's the basis of this is that in marketing, we say that a single exposure to a product is usually not enough to sell it. That means if you just show your ad, we know that our ad is going to be shown to a target audience. They're going to click on our ad and they're going to go to our landing page and they are going to click on the buy now button and buy it. Yeah, that happens in some cases, but it's always not going to happen, right? So a single exposure like this is not enough. What you want is, you want the same person to come on this page 2-3 times, because that's how human nature works. When we keep seeing something again and again and again, the trust of that product or service starts to build, because we are seeing it again and again, and that is branding in play. And you can just take any normal example to understand this. Let's say if a new gym opens right next to your house, right? So let's say there's this gym so let's in fact take the example of Fitness Fire Passion. Right? If someone is just walking by, there's a road here, and someone is just walking by and they see this gym, they may not straight away go inside this gym and register. But when they are going past this road again and again, if we keep seeing something all the time, then the curiosity comes into play and we might give in. We're like, okay, I've seen this so many times, I've seen other people entering here and this and all that, and then the trust builds, and then you can probably go and register in this gym. So a single exposure usually will not result in sales, though sometimes it does too. So you should not absolutely discount single exposures. But the point is that oftentimes you will have to show this particular ad, you'll have to show this again and again to your consumer, and this is where remarketing comes into play. So let's say that someone, we were running those conversion ads for Fitness Fire Passion for this particular landing page. So people came here and let's say they clicked on the shoes ad. And what they saw was that they opened up this shoe page where they can now click on add to cart and finish their purchase. But they, like I said, let's say they did not purchase this. But we know that they have come on this page. So what we can do now is that we can create ads for this particular shoe itself and show it to only those people who have landed on this page, just to remind them again that, listen, you did not complete your purchase. You were showing interest in this shoe. Now you're seeing the ad again. Why don't you click? And that ad will redirect them to this particular page, only to the shoe page. And then maybe this time, second, third, fourth time, when they keep seeing it, they'll probably buy it. So this is called remarketing. And now we're going to go inside Facebook and we're going to see exactly how to create this remarketing ad. It's very, very easy to create. So the feature that lets you create this particular ad is called as creating a custom audience. That means normally when we create our ad, you've seen that the targeting is that we select the age, the gender, and the interest, just like we've been doing before. But that is okay when you're selling something for the first time, when you want new and fresh audience to see your ad. But when you already know that someone has come on your intended page, then you can show them specific ads, and this is done by creating a custom audience. So if I go here to this tab, there's a section which says audiences. And here, just have to select my account. So here what I'll do is I'm going to click on this option which says create audience, and then I'm going to select custom audience, and you'll just understand how this means when I actually create it. So it's asking us, how do you want to create this audience? So website traffic, customer file, I'll be talking about this also. Rest of the things right now, do not worry about them because they are slightly more advanced. We are just going to stick to these two. So we can use our source as website traffic because someone is coming on our website, right? So we can select this particular option, and it's going to ask us add people to your audience. This is where, so this is kind of similar to creating a conversion if you remember, but this time we are creating an audience. So conversion is just an event, whereas audience is a group of people. But the way they are created is kind of similar, that we have to input the URL of where those people have landed, whose audience we want to create. So right now it's saying all website visitors. No, we only want the visitors to this particular page. Okay, so we say people who have visited specific web pages, and URL contains this particular URL. So we can do that for each product. And so this, and let's say we can name our audience as visitors to shoes page, whatever the name of your product is. And then, so we also have this option of how many days should this audience be created from the past. For example, right now people who have visited this page only in the past 30 days. So suppose, let's say we were running our earlier ad and we were running it for 30-40 days, and let's say we were even running it for 3 months, then we have the option of selecting how many days should have elapsed before, was the maximum amount of time that you want to cut off. For example, what this basically means is, let's say if I were to go to 100 days, in that case, it will even consider a visitor who came to this page 100 days back. So that may not be such a good strategy, because if someone came on this page 100 days back, let's say you've been running your ad for 6 months, the initial ad that we had created, they might have forgotten about it. That's the only issue that you have to think of here, that if it's too long a time that they actually visited this page, yes, they might be interested, but it may be too long of a duration, and they might have forgotten, so the process may not be very effective. So there's no right or wrong, you'll just have to think about this yourself. Initially, to start off with, you can leave it at 30 days, maybe even 60 days. Let's say if you're not getting too much traffic, maybe you can increase the number of days. But if you're getting a lot of traffic on your website, then it's even okay to have 30 days, because you'll anyway have a lot of visitors to your website. So even 30 days should be fine. But the advantage of lesser number of days is that because it's a recent visitor, so it stays on in their mind. That means they were just recently interested. So, the likelihood of them changing their mind or forgetting your product is much lesser. But otherwise, this is something you'll have to think according to your traffic. It's kind of subjective. Sometimes you can take a risk also. You can increase the number of days also. That's fine. Initially, maybe you can leave it at 30 days or maybe 60 days, but just don't make it too long. For example, I don't think you should go for something like, the maximum that it allows you is 180 days. So let's say if you were running an ad for 7-8 months, and then you're putting this to 180 days, then you're also targeting someone who came 6 months back to this particular page, and there's a good chance that they might have forgotten what your ad and what your product was. So let's just take something in the middle, maybe let's say 60 days, and visitors to shoes page, and then I'm just going to click on create audience. And so our audience has been created. I'm just going to click on done, and then what will happen is that if I actually had a pixel here which would have recorded the visitors movement, right? Remember, we don't have a pixel here because Wix doesn't allow us to do it on a free website. But if in case we had a real pixel, what you'll see is that it'll start populating. These numbers here will start populating, and you'll get an approximate number of visitors that have visited this page. So you'll kind of come to know what is the potential size of this audience that you have chosen. Okay, so that's what you're going to see here. Now, what's going to happen is we have created our audience. Now, how are we going to create the ad is, this time, the process will remain the same. We're going to go to Ads Manager. Then we're going to click on Create. Just like we've done before, everything remains the same. So click on Start Over. It's going to be a conversions campaign again. So I'm going to call it Remarketing. So the initial part will remain exactly the same. That is, you'll have to link a conversion first for this particular ad that we're going to create. And the conversion that you want to link is that when someone buys this product, ultimately they'll be redirected to the thank you page of this product. And that thank you page URL is what will create your conversion, just like we've seen in the conversion ad. So the new conversion that we're going to create, I'm not going to do it right now because it's going to take a lot of time, because we've already seen how to create a conversion. But basically you'll be creating a conversion for this particular product only, and using the thank you page for this particular product. And you're just going to, once you've made the conversion, you're going to put that conversion here. Right now, of course, there's something else. This is from my creative pad media business, but it doesn't matter. I'm just showing you how to do things. But basically, it's going to be the conversion related to the sale of this particular shoe that is going to come here, because the main thing that I want to show you here is the difference. Rest of the stuff will remain the same. So now when you come down here, what you're going to find is there's a section called as custom audiences. And this is where you'll actually be entering the audience that we just created, which is going to be visitors to shoes page. Remember, we created this particular audience, and we don't do anything here. You can just leave everything as it is, even if this is very broad, it really does not matter, because what we've already told is that told Facebook is that only show this ad to the visitors of this particular page. So it's just only going to show that. It doesn't matter what their age is. So you can just leave it as broad as possible. So let's say I was running this ad all over India. Now this time there's no need to actually select any age, because people have already gone here and we just want this to be shown to everyone, though you can. Let's say if you're finding that only within a certain age group are the conversions taking place. Let's say you've done your homework like we saw in the analytics section. In that case, you can also filter out even the visitors using these things again. But you can just leave it as it is, because if someone has gone here, there's a good chance that they are interested in buying your product. So both ways are fine. If you want to filter out or you don't, that's a call that you'll have to take according to your own business. You don't have to select anything here this time, again, because this is the main thing that is targeting your ad. And then you can just, everything else will pretty much remain the same, and you're just going to click on continue. And this is where we make a copy of the ad. And this time the copy has to be specific. So remember, we're showing this ad to people who have visited this particular page. So of course, so let's say this was some fitness shoes that we were selling. So we're going to just go to our Shutterstock free images, and let's say I can type something like sports shoes. Of course, this will be the actual product, the image of the actual product on this page, because that is what will, once your customer sees the ad, it should be exactly the same image that they saw when they came on this page, because that is what will trigger the remembrance. Remember, you're trying to remind them. So I'm just going to type shoes here. Okay. So maybe, I don't know why it's not showing results for shoes, but let's say, we can use any image. Maybe this was the image of the shoes that was shown here on the page. Just giving you an example. Let's just finish this quickly. And I don't want it to crop to square. And then everything else will remain the same. You'll just have to add a headline. Maybe in the text on top here, you can write something like, hey, we realized that you came on this page, but you did not complete your purchase. And why don't you go back and do it? So a lot of people, when they're making remarketing ads, they make it sound like the customer should go back again and probably purchase it. So they're trying to sound like they're trying to remind them again. But every other process will remain the same. The only important thing is this time, since we want to show this, once they click on our ad, they should go on to this page. So we're going to copy the copy the URL of this particular page. And then once you're done with your headline, once you're done with your text, this is going to come in the website URL section. So there's no difference. It's just pretty logical what we're doing. The main difference here is that this ad is going to be shown to the visitors who have already come to this page. So that's why it's a remarketing ad. The remaining process is exactly the same. And then once we click on confirm, and once Facebook approves this ad is going to be shown to people who came here, saw this very shoe, but did not buy it. But it's a good way to remind them. They'll click, again go back here, and the second or the third or the fourth time is a better chance that you will have at making that sale. So this is how remarketing and custom audiences work. In the next video, I'm just going to be talking about two more things, which is creating, this time we created the custom audience from website traffic. You can also create a custom audience from a set of emails that you have of people or numbers that you have of people, like a database that you have with you. And we're also going to be talking about a very important feature called as lookalike audiences. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye for now. All right, welcome back to the course. I hope you liked the video on remarketing and creating custom audience. What we're going to learn in this video is something very similar, but just a kind of a new spice to whatever we just learned in the earlier video, which is that let's say someone comes on this page, we were discussing about the shoe page, and they maybe, let's say through your remarketing ad, they finally purchase the product, and then they they were your customers. And usually what happens is, of course, if you're running a real business, whenever someone buys anything from you, you're going to get their email address, right? So whichever payment portal you're using, they're going to give you the email addresses, and you can export all those into a file like this, and where you'll have a column for buyer email address. And what you can do is, let's say if I just copy it and keep all these emails. Oops, I'm just going to go on the top and remove this. Yeah, so let's say I have all these emails with me, and then what I can do in Facebook is that I can again go to audiences. There's another way to create a custom audience. So we saw last time that you can actually create the custom audience from your website traffic. That means giving the URL. This time we want to do something a bit different. So we want to create an audience of the people who have already purchased our course. So I'm going to click again on create audience. Again, click on custom audience. This time, instead of website traffic, I'm going to click on customer file. And once I do that, it's going to ask me use a file that includes customer lifetime value, LTV, or use a file that doesn't know. This is kind of an advanced concept. Most marketers don't really have this data. So we're going to select use a file that doesn't include, you don't really have to know what LTV means, slightly more advanced. But basically what we are doing here is we are just, instead of this time creating an audience through the traffic, we're going to input all the emails of our customers who have purchased a particular product or service from us. And then, so we can do that by either adding this Excel file here, or we can just simply copy paste. That's what I normally prefer. So once I have all this on a text file, I just like to copy and paste. And then we can name this, and since they have already purchased this shoe, we can name this audience just so that we can remember it well. We can say purchased fitness fire passion shoes. Okay, so something like this. And we just have to also select the origin of this upload. So we either from customers, how have you got data? Facebook is just asking you this. So let's say we can just select directly from customers. So that's fine. Purchased FFP shoes, and we can click on next. And what it's going to do here is that once we click on this upload and create option, it's going to basically create an audience from all these emails. So how this works is that because these people who bought from us, right, all these email addresses, these people here, they bought from us, and all of them, let's say they initially clicked on your shoe ad, they went over to your website and they purchased it. So they were coming from where? They were coming from Facebook. And most probably when they make the purchase, they're going to be using the same email ID that they use for creating their Facebook account. So once you enter someone's email, what Facebook can do is Facebook has the way to track that person and come to know who that person exactly is on Facebook through their email. And when it says 65001 rows uploaded, what this means is that now this audience, the size of this audience is equal to the number of emails that I had pasted from this file. That means just from their emails, Facebook can actually create a custom audience. And what I can do with this audience is I can do a lot of things. For example, let's say I know that they purchased this type of a shoe from me, right? And let's say I just click on done, and this audience is going to come here. So I know that they purchased one type of a shoe from me. So what I can do is I can just go to my ads manager, and let's say I want to market another shoe. So I'm going to go to my creation dashboard. I'm going to create a brand new campaign called conversions. And let's say this time I'm going to say, whatever the different type of shoe that we want to market. Let's just call it, let's say, jogger shoes. And this is something that we have not sold to this audience before. Right? So it's a new type of shoe that we want to advertise, but we only want to advertise it to people who have already purchased another type of shoe from us, which is this kind of shoe. Because we already know there are people who like to purchase, they've purchased from us, so they already have the trust in us. And then we're hoping that probably these people will buy the next shoe also. So what we can do is once we select our conversions, just like we've been doing before, not going to focus on this too much. What we can do is once we come down to custom audiences here, we can actually go and we can write in the name of our audience, which we just created. That means purchased FFP shoes. Now this time when you finally get done with creating this ad, and once this ad starts to go out, it's only going to be shown to people who were those emails, basically your past customers who have purchased another kind of shoe from you. And we're hoping that because they've purchased another kind of shoe, when we show this ad, it's going to be super targeted because you're showing this ad to your customers. This time you're not showing it to a fresh audience. And when you do that, our hope is that since they've already bought us once from us, the shoes, they're going to buy it again, a different type of shoe. So this is a great way to remarket to an existing customer list. So you can see the power of these custom audiences. You can do so many things with this. And that's not all. If I just go back here, to our audience section, right now, if we were to run this ad, it will only show to the people, to the 6,500 odd people whose email addresses we had shown. But there's another cool feature Facebook has, which is called as the Lookalike audience, which is really a very, very important tool. And what that means is, it's very, very simple to understand. We've already created this audience of all these emails that we had, and we know that these people have purchased our shoes. Now, what we can do is, if I click on this audience, it says actions, and I can click on this option which says create lookalike. Now what this means is, if I want to tell Facebook that, listen, this is the audience that has purchased these shoes from me, so I want you to create a lookalike audience. That means I want you to create and find more people who share similar characteristics with these people on Facebook. So remember, Facebook has all your data. So once you create a lookalike audience, what you're telling Facebook is that I want you to create a brand new audience, but their characteristics of those people on Facebook, they should be similar to this audience. That means they should be similar to people who have purchased our first shoes, right? So Facebook it has its own algorithm. It's a very powerful algorithm, but when you create a lookalike audience, it'll try its best to get fresh people into an audience which are similar to the ones who purchased from you. I know it can be a bit confusing. Don't worry too much about it. Basically, we are creating a brand new audience which is similar to our purchased audience. That means the audience that have already bought from us. And we get some other options also, like which location. So let's say I only want to advertise my new shoe to India, and I'm looking for new customers which are similar to my old customers. That's basically what we're doing. And this last option is kind of important. Number of lookalike audiences and how much percentage. So this percentage is important. If you move it further, what's going to happen is this number is going to increase. That means you're literally taking 2% of the entire population in India, which are similar to these people. But as it moves away from 1%, you can see Facebook tells you here that 1% lookalike consists of people more similar to your original audience, which is purchased FFP shoes. That means the emails that we had entered, those people who had already bought from us, our customers. When you move to 2%, your number of people or your potential reach of the audience will go high, but the similarities between them will decrease. So that means it might have an effect on your conversions. So you'll reach out to more people as you keep on increasing this number, but the similarity between this lookalike audience, the fresh audience, will be less similar to your original audience. So I usually leave this at the default, which is 1%. And then all you got to do is just click on create audience. So the name is automatically taken. It's just going to say purchase. You can see lookalike, purchase, lookalike 1%, India, purchased FFP shoes. And then what we can do is, just like we were creating the ad, we can create the ad, and this time we can also, when we select our audience, we can also add this fresh audience. So we are not just, so let's say we were making this particular campaign, we can click on continue. And what we can do is right now, this ad, as of now, you can see here that we only selected one audience, which was purchased FFP shoes. So the new shoe ad, which are our jogger shoes, is only going to be shown to people who have already purchased, because this is from the email list. But let's say we also want to reach out to more number of people. So then we can select this lookalike audience, which are similar to this. And you can see this will come here. And you can see that this will increase your reach also, because now you're reaching more number of people. So now you'll reach your customers, your ex-customers of the different shoe, as well as people who are similar to them, who look alike them. You can think of it as this way. And this is a great way to increase the reach of your potential reach of your ad, and still be very targeted, because remember, this is being made, or this is being derived out of this particular audience. So this is going to be very close to people who are looking to purchase. And for me personally, this was a huge factor in Creative Pad Media. When I came to know about lookalike audiences, it really took my business to another level, because I was able to reach, what I used to do was, people would come for my workshop or buy my courses, I would get their emails, and I would do exactly the same thing that I've shown you. I would create their email list, and then I would create a lookalike from them, and then show my new ads to this lookalike audience. So my ads were reaching, I didn't have to worry too much about the targeting from here. I was doing the targeting right here, because then I was able to reach to people who are similar to my customers. And that is very huge when you're running ads to make sales, because you want to be as close as possible to someone who's buying from you. So this is the power of lookalike. I know these last two videos have been slightly complicated. I would probably suggest you watch them twice or thrice in order to just understand. But when you're starting out, it's okay to not use custom audiences. Just get good with using Facebook ads, creating basic ads like traffic ads and conversion ads. And this is something which will be of the next level. But I still wanted to include this in this course, even though this is a beginner's course, because this is where you can say that the magic really starts to happen. So remarketing, custom audiences, lookalike audiences takes your advertising to the next level. So I definitely wanted to include that in this course. In case you did not understand this part, trust me, it's completely fine. Even the most advanced marketers, they get confused when it comes to remarketing, custom audiences. It is something that you'll just have to get used to it step by step. But anyway, I hope that you at least understood the concept of remarketing and custom audiences, and that why remarketing is so vital for a business, so that we can get multiple exposures and hopefully generate sales. So I hope that you like this video. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye for now. Alright, so with that, we come to the end of this journey of learning Facebook advertising. I hope that this has been a very fruitful exercise for you. I definitely loved teaching you this art, because like I mentioned in the introduction video, this is a life-changing skill, and I hope that you're able to apply this to whatever dream business that you want to start, because it's definitely possible nowadays. Having said that, of course, like always, I hope that you benefited a lot from this course, and in case you like this course, do check out my other courses, like which are mainly revolving around photography, videography, and editing. So if you are into those creative fields, definitely check out those courses. I do plan to make more marketing and advertising courses like these also, like on Instagram, maybe an advanced Facebook marketing course, how to even create a very good looking website. So we are also going right now into this field, that apart from teaching you creative skills, we want to teach you also how to learn the business and the marketing skills associated with all these creative things. Well, I hope that you enjoy this course, but most importantly, like always, I just hope that doing this course has a positive impact on your life. If you have any doubts, then you can absolutely at any time go on to our website, which is www.creativepadmedia.com, where not only can you access the other courses that we have, but you can also get in touch with us using our email address or our number, and I would love to hear about any of your doubts or your experience or your feedback. But for now, we are done with this course. I'm gonna hopefully see you in another course. But for now, this is Kush Sharma signing off. Goodbye.